guy is the most intelligent among us. I'm sure he's asking us to open the book. By the way, what is this?
This thing seems very valuable. Give it to me, you'll break it.
I can break girls' hearts, bones of enemies, but not this. I'm sure I go. Whoa, whoa, whoa!
Let's run from here.
Let's go.
These seem like werewolf experiments.
And these are vampire serums? Huh? Look, this must definitely be Dracula.
Should we touch it?
No, we shouldn't touch it at all. But let me tell you something. I've seen in movies that cracking the serum gives you extra powers.
He's saying not to do anything like this.
Oh man, are you understanding this better? Maybe he's saying to try it. Look, even the diagram on the wall suggests it. The picture says it all.
I have returned.
I can feel the power!
Bro, Zelmi? I'm really scared.
Yeah, man, don't be scared. I'm here, okay?
You were saying you're so brave. What happened now?
Man, what is this lone survivor guy even saying? He doesn't even have subtitles.
I think he's saying we shouldn't have opened the book.
Lone survivor guy is the most intelligent among us. I'm sure he's asking us to open the book. By the way, what is this?
This thing seems very valuable. Give it to me, you'll break it.
I can break girls' hearts, bones of enemies, but not this. I'm sure I go. Whoa, whoa, whoa!
Let's run from here.
Let's go.
These seem like werewolf experiments.
And these are vampire serums? Huh? Look, this must definitely be Dracula.
Should we touch it?
No. We shouldn't touch it at all. But let me tell you something. I've seen in movies that cracking the serum gives you extra powers.
He's saying not to do anything like this.
Oh man, are you understanding this better? Maybe he's saying to try it. Look, even the diagram on the wall suggests it. The picture says it all.
I have returned.
I can feel the power!
Bro, Zelmi? I'm really scared.
Yeah, man, don't be scared. I'm here, okay?
You were saying you're so brave. What happened now?
Man, what is this lone survivor guy even saying? He doesn't even have subtitles.
I think he's saying we shouldn't have opened the book.
Lone survivor guy is the most intelligent among us. I'm sure he's asking us to open the book. By the way, what is this?
This thing seems very valuable. Give it to me. You'll break it.
I can break girls' hearts, bones of enemies, but not this. I'm sure I go. Whoa!
Let's run from here.
Let's go.
These seem like werewolf experiments.
And these are vampire serums? Huh? Look, this must definitely be Dracula.
Should we touch it?
No. We shouldn't touch it at all. But let me tell you something. I've seen in movies that cracking the serum gives you extra powers.
He's saying not to do anything like this.
Oh man, are you understanding this better? Maybe he's saying to try it. Look, even the diagram on the wall suggests it. The picture says it all.
I have returned.
I can feel the power!
Bro, tell me? I'm really scared.
Yeah, man, don't be scared. I'm here, okay?
You were saying you're so brave. What happened now?
Man, what is this lone survivor guy even saying? He doesn't even have subtitles.
I think he's saying we shouldn't have opened the book.
Lone survivor guy is the most intelligent among us. I'm sure he's asking us to open the book. By the way, what is this?
This thing seems very valuable. Give it to me, you'll break it.
I can break girls' hearts, bones of enemies, but not this. I'm sure I go. Whoa, whoa, whoa!
Let's run from here.
Let's go.
These seem like werewolf experiments.
And this? These are vampire serums? Huh? Look, this must definitely be Dracula.
Should we touch it?
No. We shouldn't touch it at all. But let me tell you something. I've seen in movies that cracking the serum gives you extra powers.
He's saying not to do anything like this.
Oh man, are you understanding this better? Maybe he's saying to try it. Look, even the diagram on the wall suggests it. The picture says it all.
I have returned.
I can feel the power!
Bro, tell me? I'm really scared.
Yeah, man, don't be scared. I'm here, okay?
You were saying you're so brave. What happened now?
Man, what is this lone survivor guy even saying? He doesn't even have subtitles.
I think he's saying we shouldn't have opened the book.
Lone survivor guy is the most intelligent among us. I'm sure he's asking us to open the book. By the way, what is this?
This thing seems very valuable. Give it to me, you'll break it.
I can break girls' hearts, bones of enemies, but not this. I'm sure I go. Whoa!
Let's run from here.
Let's go.
These seem like werewolf experiments.
And these are vampire serums? Huh? Look, this must definitely be Dracula.
Should we touch it?
No, we shouldn't touch it at all. But let me tell you something. I've seen in movies that cracking the serum gives you extra powers.
He's saying not to do anything like this.
Oh man, are you understanding this better? Maybe he's saying to try it. Look, even the diagram on the wall suggests it. The picture says it all.
I have returned.
I can feel the power!
Brozelmi? I'm really scared.
Yeah, man, don't be scared. I'm here, okay?
You were saying you're so brave. What happened now?
Man, what is this lone survivor guy even saying? He doesn't even have subtitles.
I think he's saying we shouldn't have opened the book.
Lone survivor guy is the most intelligent among us. I'm sure he's asking us to open the book. By the way, what is this?
Welcome back, everyone. This is Maldives Championship Contender Series Season 3. This is day number 2 of the grand finals. Yesterday, we witnessed day number 1, and it was an absolute blast. And now we are moving on to the next 6 maps of this grand finals. Once again, we are your casters. My name is Annie, and tonight with me is Mike. How are you, Mike?
Well, thank you so much for that, Annie. And once again, we are here at the day 2. And yesterday, it was just a lot of fun. Both all of the teams were exploring, just learning from each other. And now we're at day 2, which is even it could be actually be better since all of the teams maybe have prepared a lot of strategies to actually counter them.
Yes, and I agree with you there. They have to rethink their strategies if ever they performed poorly in the previous day, because honestly, if you just keep on doing the same strategy and it's not working, it's basically like you're just going nowhere. And so for now, this is the Sandhawk map. Of course, we will be looking at a really small map, although that flight path does cut into the island very beautifully into half. A lot of these places will be accessible to these players, and so hopefully we'll be seeing some early game engagement just to add a touch of excitement to our stream tonight.
Yes, and actually, I think this is a good start for today because the Sandhawk here, it's equally divided, and I mean, the circle is favored on their left side, but all of the teams, they pretty sure they've learned enough, and especially those top 9 to 15 teams there, I think they're gonna do something now. But what Syndicate has to do is just keep their ranking up to the first and just really protect their spot.
And Syndicate actually is 20 points away from the top number 2, which is TTS. So they are in a good spot But on the other hand, they cannot be complacent. There is still 12 maps left for the taking for all these other 14 groups. And if Syndicate, they fall off so early on into the map, they might get picked off because of unfortunate events. Then it just might be possible that they'd be dethroned from their top one spot. And so they have to work extra hard to get those eliminations in the bag and those placement points as well.
Yes, 12 matches indeed, and you know, even though you have that 66 points, you have 20 points gap to your second. I mean, still, you can't be complacent with that. You have to get more points, go for placement points, and then just really keep your spot on top, because I think more, especially the SDMZNG and the TTS Esports, they're really prepared onto taking that number one spot.
Yeah, and if I were them, that would be what I will target for this day 2 and day number 3. There are more matches to come, and so there are more chances to really get those points in the bag and just rake up those possible dethroning of the top few spots in the lineup. And so for now, it's a little bit quiet in Sanhok. And so, speaking of quiet, actually, usually you don't see vehicles moving around in Sanhok because it does make a lot of noise, and the island is quite small, so you can actually go by foot. And so I'm a little bit worried by for NRS here. They are a moving target and they are making a lot of noise. And so if there will be another squad that they will run into, they just might get shot at.
And SDMZNG here, really just securing their base, just securing and gearing up for the fights later on, and really just looking for some enemies at this point. Now, nothing's happening yet. I mean, it's still 3 minutes into the game, so we can't really expect some bloodshed. Though already one from Fen returns already down, which is kind of unfortunate because they've been losing since day one, and they have to actually pack. I mean, they have to think on what to do to actually try to even go for higher ranking, like maybe at least top 5, and at least get some momentum for that. But while that was happening, an off kill right here for the side of Crown. Fender turns, goes for another couple sprays, but he goes down as well, while the rest of his team are going in for the rescue.
Fen returns seeking those eliminations from Lona at a distance, and it looks like Fen will have 2 eliminations to their name, but Jumbo needs that revive. And so whether or not the last 2 members standing in Fen returns can revive their member, it will just have to wait and see, because they came in the lobby actually with only 3 players, and so they are already at a numbers disadvantage on the get-go. And also for Crown, they are not faring as well, because they have one member needing that revive and one member has already been eliminated as well. And kudos to Fen having 2 eliminations to their name already so early on in the game.
I think of when I said that there wasn't any bloodshed yet, it instantly started, and even here with a grenade kill from off screen, it's I think it's my words that are starting to work in their favor.
Yes, definitely. And I hope it will continue to go to that trend, because in the past few days the games went by really slow, but right now the kill feed is a little bit noisy. We still have 57 players left to die, and Cyanide, they have their crosshairs on Lawns in the distance and Crown also on the red. And so Cyanide, they have given away their location, and so they are getting shot at, but no one is getting eliminated, no one's getting knocks. And so for now, everyone's safe until now Haysum gets knocked down, and so the other members of Crown as well. And that's the end of Crown actually. That is the end of Crown, and they are the first team to get picked off for today's map.
And it's really expected when the map is Sunhawk. It's just really small, and as what you said a while ago, using vehicles doesn't really work in your favor unless you're really going from afar. But now seeing the map right here, it's still pretty I think it's still pretty scattered for all of the teams. I mean, if you do look at it, for the Fender turns, they're still in the danger zone, and also for the other team as well. I mean, they have to move it up, though it doesn't really hurt you that much when it's just stage 1. But seeing now that the circle is really starting to shrink, then they really have to move.
Yeah, and move they will have to do because this is stage two of the circle. And of course, the circle isn't gonna give you really significant damage for now, but still, if you want a good chance of surviving this map and any map in PUBGM for that matter, you have to secure those locations, those positions very early on in order to get an edge in the late game. But for now, we can hear some gunshots being fired. Looks like OTF has spotted some another team at a distance, and that would be the pink squad. But for now, it looks like Lona versus Fen. It's not over just yet. They are both getting eaten up by the circle, and that just means both teams will have to rotate out of there sooner or later.
And especially with Fen returns having only two members, they actually are going for a safe play here to, I think, focus more on the placement points than on the kills. And especially when you're in the danger zone, I think they're really just waiting for Lona to actually move out before they can safely follow them as well. But though so far, one team down, and it's also good, and nothing's happening yet really.
Yeah, nothing's happening. It's 7 minutes and 47 seconds into the Sandhawk map, and so far we only have one team that got completely picked off. And unfortunately for Crown, they are still at 16 points, and for this map, they will be garnering zero total points. And so they have to step up. A lot of these teams have to step up if they want a chance of placing significantly in this grand finals. But for now, they will have 11 more chances since they got sent back into the lobby on their seventh map. And so for everyone else, may the best squad win, basically.
Tranquility here, really just uh, going in, just really playing it safely as of now. Since they're at the seventh spot, it's kind of a safe place to be at. So they really just want to hold on to that. If there will be kills, and if there will be opportunity to kill a lot of teams, then they will go for it. But for now, they're really just going for placement points, and maybe they want to observe how the teams will react so that they can actually prepare some strategy.
Yeah, and you have to get information on your opponents. And actually, these 15 teams, they can do just that if they do a VOD review on the stream yesterday. Maybe they can study the strategies that the other squads have employed, the other teams have employed. But of course, that's up to them whether or not they want to play the tournament that way. But for now, it seems that everyone is just playing safe. It's the same as yesterday, actually. It goes really slowly, but Lona over here getting shot at by Cyanide. Will Cyanide get that elimination? It looks like that won't be the case for now. Killfeed not showing any knocks, any eliminations, and so far, Lona gets away unscathed.
And now looking at it, I think around five teams, or actually more, since the circle is already starting to. I mean, for now it's not shrinking yet, but it's really very dangerous at this point since the danger zone is really starting to hurt. And if you look at it, a lot of teams are still in the danger zone. They have to act fast since I mean, they do have the health kits, but if you think about it, the every second of damage that the danger zone actually does is already impactful for the team.
Yes, and since we are in stage 3, that damage is slowly getting worse and worse for these players. 51 players to be exact, and 14 teams still left standing. And so, for now, there's only one team that still got picked off. It's going really slow, but for now, NRS is still with their vehicles making a lot of noise. But so far, LHC, they have spotted Tranquility, and so whether or not they will be starting an or initiating a fight against this squad, it's something that we'll have to see later on. But here, lining up the crosshairs, will he shoot? It looks like that won't
The
be the
trigger
case for
discipline.
now. And because they don't want to give away their information, their location in this area, LHC, as you said, yes, that trigger discipline. That won't be the case for long, though. And now that LHC, they have a good plan in mind. They might be trying to get these eliminations against Tranquility now.
And it's actually a bold move for Tranquility with one member only in that area and just really throwing the grenades. I mean, they know that a team is there, and the rest of the Tranquility members are also backing him up, but they're still pretty far away. So what they're doing now, if we're going for the grenades, got one down for the side of LHC Esports, and will probably the rest of the Tranquility will start to rush this one. But of course, LHC. They've prepared something as well. They're gonna wait for them to come in. Tranquility Maxi here getting damaged with that grenade, trying to heal up, and just wait for the rest of the team to fight.
And for that, LHC says you're throwing grenades at me. We have grenades too. And so Tranquility, they tank that damage, but no one going down just yet. And it looks like LHC gets that reset that they need. They have healed up from all those bombardments, from all those grenades, and it goes on. The grenade war goes on between LHC and Tranquility, but will anyone go down? That will be the question. But for now, it seems that the answer is no. Shots being fired towards LHC. Will someone get the knock? Will someone get the knock? It looks like the other side of the map, Cyanide versus Sip as well. But look at here, Tranquility trying to push into this area where LHC is. They know that they're inside, and so they are using their grenade to try to pick off some damage first, try to get those knocks, try to get that numbers advantage, but so far it's not fruitful. It looks like they won't be hitting anyone from the members of LHC for now.
And it's really hard. It's a really hard place to get inside, especially if there's a team there, because they LHC Esports they're using this place really to their advantage and just hiding behind in the corners and the edges and just really waiting for them. Surprisingly, I mean, they all have their shotguns ready, and of course, even then with all the armor, level 3 armor, I mean, they can still be unstoppable, which is why Tranquility was also being very careful.
Yes, and I agree with you right there. You have to be careful. But on the other hand, in some other part of the map, Fen Returns finally doesn't return from where they came from, because now we are down to 13 teams left standing. And will that be a 12? That would be the case
Oh, no.
sooner or later,
Oh.
because LHC has taken down one member of Tranquility. Will they get another one? That won't be the case for now, because the kill feed is not showing anything, and LHC, they are saving up their bullets. They are trying to do that trigger discipline. Once again, they will be giving out their location every time they pull the trigger, and so for Tranquility, that's something that they want to hear. Although, in a while, that might change, because both are biding their time and they are waiting for the right moment to strike.
It is actually a game of patience between LHC and Tranquility. But while that was happening, Terror X gets a kill right there in the side of NG, as the MZ and NG. And domination for Terror X. You might actually see an MVP. But for now, Terror X will go down, waiting for this team to revive, while the rest of the team are trying to throw some grenades, trying to bait them out. I mean, you only have one member remaining from Game Over OTF, and just really waiting for the rest of the team here. You're going in for safe revive before they come back into action, but Terror X is in a pretty tight spot. But of course, and the NG actually goes down.
And meanwhile, over here in the other side of the map, Tranquility versus LHC. It's not over just yet. TBS out, and will they get that elimination? It looks like Tranquility is
Oh,
in
no.
trouble, and they completely get eliminated from the picture. LHC walks away with the spoils of the war. Tranquility getting eliminated, the fourth team to go out of this map.
Tranquility was really at a disadvantage right there. I mean, LHC, they already have that place. They can just hide anywhere. And I think the game of patience, it really went to the side of LHC, because they were really just waiting for Tranquility to push. I mean, if you do think about it, if you're at the 7th spot and you have that kind of opportunity to go for kills, then especially in a game of patience, you would technically you would want to go as soon as possible, and it seems like they did, and actually they got eliminated because of that. And also TTS Esports going down as well with the zero points, and as early as already in the first half. But as of now, the Game Over Sim also getting eliminated. And I think looking at the scoreboard right now, the top two teams, Syndicate and Game Over Esports, they're actually still alive. I mean, Game Over Esports, they have 3 kills. Syndicate here, I think they're really going for placement points, and yeah, I think just waiting for a few kills.
Yes, because they haven't run into other squads just yet. But looking at Night Raiders, it looks like one member, DZX, will be in trouble, needing that revive. And look at the other team members of NRS, 2 in the red. And so Lucid trying to get some eliminations, trying to get an opportunity to revive the other members, and it looks like that will be happening, but it looks like DZX is still not out of the picture. It looks like another squad walks in on NRS, but NRS, it looks like it'll be the end of Lons, however, and LHC Esports concurrently in the other side of the map. And Night Raiders, for now, they walk out of the woods and they are just resetting, trying to recover from that engagement.
And actually, LHC Esports was also at a disadvantage. I mean, if you did take out Tranquility and then they're going in for another push, they're usually not that aware is for upcoming enemies, and killing taking Tranquility down, it gave you that boost to go for a push, and it got them eliminated. But now we are down to the last six teams. Syndicate and the DMT and the Game Over Esports are live and kicking. Just really playing it safe here. Cyanide going in for a couple of sprays. The shots connected, only leaving that enemy with half HP remaining. Actually dodged that grenade right there. But yeah, he's also being very careful by checking at behind them if there are upcoming enemies, but while also hiding from the rest of the enemies as well, going in for a couple of sprays. But he will go down as now Carnage gets kill on that, going in for a couple of sprays as well, but it seems like he gets down as well. Looking at the side of DMT right here, going in and really just being very careful, being very strategic right here with four teams remaining. And now Game Over OTF will go down to the last three teams, the Syndicate, DMT, and the NRS.
DMT in trouble, so with only one member left standing, Syndicate and NRS, they have the numbers advantage. But speaking of which, DMT gets picked off, and now it's left. It's down to these two teams, NRS and Syndicate. Syndicate needing one member revived, and they will get to that very soon. But for now, Pew Pew will go for that grenade, will go for that smoke, and they have the utilities to get aggressive. But Night Raiders, they are getting shot at, but no one is getting confirmed, no one is getting eliminated, no one's even getting knocked down. But Syndicate, on the other side of the map, they will get shot at, and one member goes down, one member gets knocked. DZX is shooting at nothing. They don't have the information that they need. But Pew Pew over here with the grenade, trying to get some grenade kills on the side of Syndicate. But now, Pew Pew, he will get that some damage dealt down. But it looks like both teams still have four members standing. No one's getting eliminated just yet. And so this is quite an interesting last battle between the two squads still standing, because both of them still have all four members. But that will change very soon.
And the Night Raiders here, they're really being very careful. I mean, you're facing against Syndicate, and they're the top one. And maybe we could get another chicken dinner here for Syndicate, but also things are looking good for the side of Night Raiders since they have this cover. But they do have that disadvantage to their location, and that would be the mark for the first game. That would be again chicken dinner for the Syndicate.
Yes, Syndicate did so well yesterday. They bagged the top one position, and now they get the first winner chicken dinner. Absolutely crazy performance here by DCM Syndicate. And look at here, their overall rank. They haven't been dethroned by the number one yet. Match points 20, total damage of 1,321, total eliminations of 10, and total points of 86. They are only 14 points away from the 100-point mark.
And I actually predicted that strategy for Syndicate. I mean, if you're really at the top, you just have to secure for placement points, and they were really very strategic with the locations and how they're gonna rotate against their enemies, and it really put Night Raiders at a disadvantage, which gave them that easy kill, especially when the Night Raiders were already out in the open.
Yes, I agree with you right there. And this is the match summary. Of course, 50 eliminations, 66 knockouts, 9,289 healings, 2 grenade eliminations, and 22 assists. And despite the number of cars being used in the Sandhawk map, we did not see any vehicle eliminations. But of course, the vehicles were being used to rotate around the area to get secure those locations. And so far, towards the late game, we actually didn't see any of them being used, but that's just to be expected. And now for the the last two teams standing in that Sandhawk map, this will be a comparison between Syndicate and NRS. Damage going actually more on to NRS's side with 1,460 compared to 1,321 of Syndicate knocks. Just one knock off on the side of Syndicate, eliminations more on Syndicate's side. And of course, our MVP is none other none other than NRS's DZX with 4 eliminations, but with a damage of 753.
And really, here, Night Raiders is also very commendable on this area. I mean, they really went for placement points, though they got the second place. They still got a massive points from that, and especially when they've been hunting, and it just really shows from their damage. So it's still paying off for their side, but Syndicate, they're really sticking to that number one spot and just playing it safe here. They're not very being very complacent, but it's day two. Of course, they have to keep that momentum. They have to keep the tempo away from the teams.
And I agree with you right there. Complacency is the enemy, but this is match number 7. Top players. Of course, we saw DZX's 4 elimination, but coming in second is Game Over's Rio Day, 3 eliminations to his name, and coming in third is Mad with 4 eliminations, Blanky with 2 eliminations, and DMT's Fisherman with 4 eliminations. Of course, we've seen these household names, like for example, Rio Day, Mad, and Blanky. We saw them yesterday, and once again, they are showing up in the top players for today, and so that consistency is what's helping their team boost their way up the rankings. And speaking of which, Syndicate has 20 total points, NRS with 13, DMT with 11, Cyanide having 9, Game Over and OTF having 8 each, LHC 5, Lona having 3, and Fen having 2. And Fen is top number 9. And so it's quite worrying to see the top number 9 having 2 points only. And that's just to be said. Brack number 10, 11, and 12, NG, Simp, and Lons having only 1 point from this match. And of course, TRQ, Crown, and TTS. They walk away with nothing from this first map today.
And now in the overall rankings, once again, Syndicate keeps their number one spot, to be followed by the DCM, DMT, and the Game Over Esports at spot number 3. Now, already, Night Raiders, it really paid off their efforts in this match, because they're now at the number 4 spot, to be followed by NG at number 5. And really, it just shows that Syndicate, again, they're playing safe here, while looking at the Night Raiders, they do have that potential to actually break through if they keep this up. And it's amazing to see that in day one, the winner for the first match and the sixth match is Syndicate, and now it seems like we're starting to see a trend here with the Syndicate winning another chicken dinner for the first match of the day.
Yes, and taking a look at the statistics a while ago, Syndicate already bagged 3 chicken dinners throughout this whole grand finals. But look at here, top number 9 to 15, these are their total points, and unfortunately, Fan Returns hasn't even crossed the double digits just yet. And so for the teams in the second part of the table, you will have to look at DCM Syndicate's that total points. It's in the line of 80s already, and some of these teams, they're still at the 30s, so they have a lot of catching up to do. And so far, these are the top players overall, solely from Lons having 17 eliminations, Mad having 17 as well, Manu with 15, Blanky with 11, and Pew Pew with 17 eliminations. Once again, very familiar names, and of course, very consistent performance so far in these past few days.
With Solly and Mad, really they keep showing up, especially Pew Pew, and with that actually marks the start of the day with the first chicken dinner for the side of DCM Syndicate.
Yes, and that was Sunhawk, and the next matches to come will be 3 Erangel maps. After this, we will be witnessing match number 8 of the grand finals in Erangel. But before that, we will be going in for a short break. So don't go anywhere, just stay tuned, and we'll be back after a few minutes.
You were saying you're so brave? What happened now?
Man, what is this lone survivor guy even saying? He doesn't even have subtitles.
I think he's saying we shouldn't have opened the book.
Lone survivor guy is the most intelligent among us. I'm sure he's asking us to open the book. By the way, what is this?
This thing seems very valuable. Give it to me, you'll break it.
I can break girls' hearts, bones of enemies, but not this. I'm sure I go. Whoa, whoa, whoa!
Let's run from here.
Let's go!
These seem like werewolf experiments.
And this? These are vampire serums? Huh? Look, this must definitely be Dracula.
Should we touch it?
No. We shouldn't touch it at all. But let me tell you something. I've seen in movies that cracking the serum gives you extra powers.
He's saying not to do anything like this.
Oh man, are you understanding this better? Maybe he's saying to try it. Look, even the diagram on the wall suggests it. The picture says it all.
I have returned.
I can feel the power!
Hi guys, welcome back to Maldives Championship Contender Series Season 3. This is day number 2 of the Grand Finals and we just witnessed match number 7 on Sandhawk. And now we will be moving on to match number 8 in our first Erangel map for tonight. Once again, we are your casters. My name is Annie and together with me tonight is Mike. How are you, Mike?
Well, thank you so much for that, Annie. And once again, we're here for game number 2. A while ago, Syndicate already got the chicken dinner. Another good start for the side of Syndicate here, especially now it's the second day, and they've already bagged 3 chicken dinners, which is already amazing for their team. And really, I think we're starting to see a trend here with the Syndicate keeping on winning the chicken dinners. And I think it's up to the rest of the teams to actually challenge them.
Yes, a challenge you have to do if you want a chance to get into the top number of teams in the leaderboards. But for now, it looks like the flight path will start from Milta Power over in the eastern side of Erangel, going up to the shooting range. And so Stalber, shooting range, Jarky, even Giorgio Pool will be quite accessible to these players. And also Pochinki, one of the most hot drops of this map. And so, of course, these players, they will be going in for their drop-off points, and whether or not they can reach their favorite drop-off points, that's just something we'll have to wait and see. But for now, it looks like that flight path is quite biased towards the northeastern side, and how these players will deal with that, we'll see that very soon enough.
And with the map here actually favored in the side of shooting range and could be for Stalber if some teams would go there. And I've called them yesterday. I do like those areas, especially they have a lot of good loot. And I think if you're gonna go for shooting range, and then the rest of the teams, I think they're also aware with that. So I think some of them would challenge them, or maybe some of them would land nearby. But looking at it now, seems like the circle is also favored at the left side.
Yes, and that will be troubling for those who decided to land on the right side of the flight path. But of course, that will be something that vehicles can solve later on. But for now, it seems that the kill feed is a little bit quiet, so it just means that these squads, they haven't run into each other. Other than Cyanide, they have one player with chipped off health, but that's probably someone who just tripped on a rock or something. I don't know, because it doesn't seem like there's any early game engagement. But for now, it's a little bit quiet, and so everyone is just gathering up resources and guns for now.
Hmm. And if you do look at the teams, they are kind of scattered. So again, it really gives them all of that advantages from gearing up to preparing for a fight later on. And again, they're just scattered, so we can't really expect some early engagements. And if you're using vehicles, I mean, you do have that advantage to look for other players to go for hunting. But it's still early in the game. It's too early to call it. You just have to gear up and prepare later on.
Yes, I agree with you right there. It's still a little bit early, and so they don't have to worry about those engagements just yet. But just looking at the map, it seems that NG is nearby another squad. I don't know if they've seen Simp yet, but if they do, this is a possible. And this is happening right now. Game over Simp. They have spotted NG and they are trying to get those bullets to connect, but so far, nothing's happening. And game over and Fan, however, in some other part of the map, they get their first blood going over to Ryu Day actually. But for now, it seems that Simp and NG, they will be having an engagement against each other. And so they had ample time to get those guns that they need. But for now, it seems that both teams, they're still waiting for the right moment to strike. They don't have much information, and so they will be biding their time for now.
They're sort of sharing this specific location, and it's really hard when you get to encounter, I mean, especially in that kind of area where it's really covered. But looking at here now, the kills again for Rio Day here, going in for another couple of kills, and it's very impressive for him to actually be on the move as early as possible. And I think it's also kind of destined encounter here for Fen Returns and Game Over Esports. Oh no.
No, not that knife kill. That was so
Uh,
disrespectful. Come on, Ryu Day with that third elimination to his name already. And with that, he has the luxury, all the time in the world to revive the rest of his members. And so Game Over Esports, they walk away from Fan Returns with three eliminations to their name. And meanwhile, Fan, after that engagement rather, they only have one player left, and once again they are top 15 in the rankings, and so they need those points. And now that chance to get those points is just gonna be a little bit harder now that they're just a one-man team.
mhm. And Fen again, really unfortunate. It seems like the pattern that I'm seeing for Fen returns is they kept getting killed, and it's really hard for them to look for places to actually rotate to, especially when they don't know when they're not aware of where the enemies usually land, especially for a map like this. And again, it's such an unfortunate thing for Fen returns to happen like this. And it's still day two, they have the chance, but again, it's such a big step that is needed to actually be able to challenge even to the top five.
Yes, you have to challenge the top players, the top teams of this game, because if not, then you're just gonna miss out on a lot of the prize pool. But for now, it looks like NG, they have all members left standing, but it looks like they will be rotating out of the area. They knew that Simp was there. Game Over Simp was in the vicinity, but they're not taking the chance. They don't want those eliminations, and they are rotating out of that place. And I don't know what they were thinking. Maybe they had a plan in mind, but so far they won't be getting anything out of Game Over Simp for today. And yes, for now, it seems that a lot of these teams, they still have all four members left standing. And so, Game Over Lona, it seems they have secured this spot in Pochinki. They are within the building, and now really everyone, it seems that everyone's just waiting for the circle to really bring everyone together. But so far, Game Over Lawns is in the area as well, and whether or not they will try to push into the area, try to contest Pochinki, we'll just have to wait and see. But for now, with the vehicles making a lot of noise, for sure, nearby squads will be attempting to get those eliminations to their name. But for now, it seems that's not the case. They're not getting shot at, and they are trying to secure this location for themselves. But there is a squad nearby. Whether or not we'll see an engagement, we'll have to look sooner or later.
And here with the syndicate, once again, they're being very careful here. But still, it's syndicate. They're really a threat to all of the teams, especially now that the gap is already starting to widen. And if you just really think about it, 86 to 55, that's a major gap, and you really have to do something to actually even try to catch up even to the at least to the 70s. At least in that, at least you're kind of near to syndicate. But again, syndicate, they really just won't give that to you easily.
Yes, definitely. Look at that gap between the top one and the top two. Syndicate having 31 points away from the top two, which is DMT. And so that's already hard for top two to even try to catch up. Because usually the winner chicken dinners, they get around 20 points, 25 points at most. 30 though, 30. That's just amazing. That's just an amazing gap. But so far, we can hear some gunshots being fired. But who is getting shot at? That is the question. That would be Syndicate. And who are they shooting at? That would be Crown. And Crown, one by one, their members go down. And Syndicate, they have one member, Ayo, needing that revive. But so far, it looks like they don't have any eliminations. Until now, Mad gets one from the squad of Crown shooting more. And it looks like we can see another knockdown from the side of Crown. Crown is in trouble. Hisham has been knocked down, and all the while there's a hovercraft in the lower part of this hill getting shot at as well. Pew Pew gets that elimination in the bag. Joker as well getting wiped off the face of the earth, and that's 3 from the side of Crown. And so Syndicate, they're on the hunt for the last member, but it looks like that member can get away. But look at here, Syndicate, they're not done just yet. They're trying to get those bullets to connect because there is a third party, Lona coming into the area, but Syndicate isn't done yet. They haven't recovered from that previous engagement, and it looks like Lona, however, still will get 2 members down. 1 eliminated, 1 on the knockdown. Now it's up to the last member of Lona, but all the while NG gets completely eliminated. Lona does get 1 elimination to their name, but Lona walks away with only 1 member left standing. But it's not over just yet. They have their crosshairs up. They are hunting down the members of Syndicate, trying to get those revenge kills. But over here, Simp as well having their own problems. 2 members needing that revive, making that 3. Soot, last member, and that is the end of Game Over Simp by the hands of LHC Esports.
A lot of action.
Yeah.
That's the simplest words I can say about it. It's just a lot of action, and it's just really at this moment in time, almost 10 minutes into the game, where all of the teams are starting to connect and to really actually go for a lot of kills. But here, surprisingly, with Syndicate, they have the last member, and even you have that last member, you still got 6 kills, and that's already 6 points. Though you can go for a safe placement point for that. I mean, still, if you're the last player, I think the best. Oh, I mean, talking about that, they got eliminated already, and still, even with that 6 points, is kind of enough at this point. Though they won't get a lot of placement points for this. The rest of the teams, I think they have their spotlight here. I think their ultimate goal was to take them down and then just really work hard to getting that top spots.
Yes, definitely something that you should keep in mind of. But Syndicate, they have a lot of safety points. They have a lot of cushion. They have a lot of opportunities to make mistakes for now. But of course, once again, the word comes in with complacency. They cannot be complacent. This time, Syndicate, they had a little bit of a bad luck, but still they performed really well with those 6 eliminations. It's just too bad that Lona became the third party while they were still recovering. They couldn't even revive one of their members from the previous engagement, and so that just all adds up into getting completely picked off. But for now, it looks like Lons. Look at Lons with the 4 eliminations, but 2 members are eliminated as well on their side. And with Soli, with bagging 3 points for their team. That's just amazing so far. And just taking a look at the other teams in the leaderboards, it seems that a lot of these teams, they still have all four members standing. And so those teams with only two members or even one member left standing, they are at a great disadvantage in terms of numbers.
Hmm. And if looking at the teams here, there are three teams actually who only have the last member standings. That's gonna be Lona, Crown, and Fen Returns. And it's usually hard for this to keep that up, especially now that the circle is starting to shrink, and it's at that point where you have no choice but to really just move and just really pray that no four-man team would surprise you and just kill you right away. I mean, you're going in for placement points. I think that's what Fan is doing right now to actually garner some points and maybe at least get to the two-digit mark, and maybe try to make a comeback from that point. But for now, the chances are looking slim for them. The rest of Crown as well, and also the third team.
Yes, and actually look at Fen Return's last member, Foosh. They are getting favored by that circle, and since they are a last man standing, you don't want to risk walking around in the open field because one shot, one knock, it's already over for your whole team. But now the circle has blessed him with a really good location, and so there might be a chance where Fen Returns will still be able to bag some placement points. But for now, it's everyone trying to rotate into the area, into the circle.
Hmm. And looking at all of the teams here, I mean, they're really, it's like Fast and Furious here, just using a lot of vehicles at this point while also trading a lot of bullets. I mean, the shots trying to connect here. Bleeding Mad Boy with only very low HP remaining, but also the gun here from Awaken tries to take him down. Already one down, and here 1 point goes for Awaken, and that would be the end for Game Over Lona. While the rest of the team, while LHC Esports is also preparing here, since they're at a low ground, they're at a disadvantage, so they just have to scout and possibly wait for them to come down to actually clean them up.
Yes, and it looks like LHC. How many members of LHC are left? It looks like D was is the last man standing, and all the while NRS they have the high ground. But speaking of which, TTS Esports on the red, they are in trouble. But Game Over Esports, they have 4 eliminations to their name. They make it 5? It seems that they might get a finisher on Cloud if this grenade lands, and that's
It
exactly
did.
what happens. That is the fifth elimination. Game Over Esports says game over TTS for now, but they are hunting down the last three members. One member still needing that revive, and they do get that revive, and then so far TTS walks away with three members still left standing.
Night Raiders really are on the move right here. Game number two, and it seems like they're really trying their best to get a lot of kills right here and going in for placement points. I mean, you do have that advantage for the location, and looking Monsef here. I mean, the shots are already connecting, and it's really looking good for the side of Night Raiders. Especially they have the higher ground, and they can really just shoot anywhere. You know, it's very far. They do have the scopes as well. They're completely geared up, and the rest of the team, they're kind of watching. I mean, protecting themselves from the Night Raiders, which is the threat right now. Especially that Syndicate is already down.
Yeah, Syndicate, the top one team is already down, but game over. Will they be able to catch up? I don't think that will happen in this game just yet because Syndicate they are far away. 86 plus 6, that would be 92 points. And that is almost at the 100 point mark, all the while game over. They're only at 57, and so far, just taking a look at how the rest of the teams are faring, Tranquility trying to shoot at where NRS is, but none of those bullets will connect for now. But and on the other hand, NRS, they have the luxury of knowing where those bullets are coming from. They know that there's a squad somewhere over there, and so they will try to get more information and potentially pick off the members that were trying to shoot at them.
And 11 teams, 15 minutes. I think we're gonna be preparing later on because there's gonna be a lot of action that's gonna happen, and I'm really excited for all of these teams, and really for now, Night Raiders, they're at an advantage, as what I've said a while ago. They have the location here, and they really can just seek cover from anywhere and just also shoot from anywhere, and really they're just gathering a lot of kills here while also prioritizing their placement points because as what I've noticed a while ago, and our the Night Raiders, they're trying their best really to start going to the top three.
Yes, definitely. You have to try to get your place into their leaderboards. And so far, that is the plan for the rest of these squads. But for now, it seems it's a little bit quiet. But OTF, they're nearby another squad. And whether or not they'll get those eliminations, they have to get those eliminations on lawns on the other side of this neighborhood. Because so far, they don't have that much eliminations just yet. They need those points. And so far, White, the last man standing in Crown, with zero eliminations for their whole team. They have to do something in order to boost themselves from the 13th rank of this leaderboard. But so far, Night Raiders, they are getting shot at once again because they are in a really good spot. They are above ground, but that just means that they are also an easy target from below. But so far, it's working out well for them. They are positioned well, but LHC, they want those points. They want those potential pickoffs. And so far, we might be seeing a third party as well, with one squad from the eastern side, the southern eastern side, going in at their location.
And Night Raiders, they have that advantage, but also that disadvantage when when the other teams can just shoot them while they're distracted from trying to kill another team. And they already from the TTS esports, they've already they already got shot, and it's they kind of sense that danger, and they really have to play it carefully from now on, especially that the circle is starting to shrink, and the rest of the teams, they're still scattered. There's still a lot of teams, and even at this time, there's going to be a lot of action right here with Maxi going for a couple of sprays, taking one down, and here just going in for a couple of heals before he goes back into the fight, into the fray, while the rest of the Tranquility here are trying to go in, trying to push with that vehicle, and really just planning it out here what they're gonna do. Maxi got hit, but however, they're still gonna be alive, and really just prioritizing those grenade frags.
We have a lot of
Oh,
crossfires,
good
but
down.
Maxi gets knocked down with that grenade, almost point blank, in fact. But Tranquility, they still have three members left standing. They have all the time in the world to revive Maxi, but for now, it's not safe. The Titan is getting shot at behind his car, but he has the car to protect him. And TTS, they are from a distance, but it is 3 versus 1. So what can one header do at this point? They still have lots of grenades to go through, and so they will try to get that elimination. And whether or not this last member of TTS One Heada will get this total annihilation of Tranquility, we'll just have to wait and see, because for now it seems that none of that damage is connecting. No one is showing up in the kill feed, and it looks like Tranquility says goodbye. I'm rotating out of that area.
And I think they're also scouting for possible enemy locations, and they really just go straight right into that water just to really protect themselves from possible bullets really raining towards them, especially that they're out in an open area. And the rest of and now looking at the Night Raiders here, they're kind of prepared to rush this area right here, especially that the DMT are also trying to seek cover and really just play it safe here, and to go for maybe a one by one pick here, or maybe just wait for them to push all at once.
Yes, and they have to rethink what they want to do at this point, because there are 10 teams still standing. Some grenades being thrown, game over, getting one knocked on their side, but here the circle is closing in on an open area, and there are still 10 teams left standing, and so we'll expect there are a lot of things that will happen later on in
Oh,
the last few minutes of the game. Night Raiders, however, they are in trouble. Two members needing that revive. Lucid, the last man standing with barely any HP left. And DMT from the distance, they are pushing in. So Lucid will have to do double time before he gets bombarded with those grenades. And so far, DMT over here, they have all four members standing. All the while, TTS finally gets their last member picked off, and they are wiped out from the map. Now, 9 teams left standing, 20 players left. Who will get this winner chicken dinner for this first Erangel map?
And it seems like the chances are good here for DMT, especially they got all the two members. Oh, one member is down, but also Night Raiders gets eliminated right there, being that in the ninth place. and now also the rest of the team here just really preparing on what's about to come, especially that Crown has already been eliminated, and it's just gonna be up to 7 teams to actually fight back. But it's looking kind of, the chances are looking slim here for Game Over Esports and Lons right here, and also LHC, since they're the last member standings. And once again, the circle is just really starting to hurt at this point. They have to move, but also they have to be very careful as to not get picked by other teams.
Yes, and you have to tread carefully, especially that this circle is quite small and we're still 15 players left standing. Game over OTF Terrors, with only one other player left in their squad. But Lons over here inside this building. Will Terror X get that
Terror.
elimination? He will! And completely eliminates LHC from the
Oh,
picture. Game over Lons as well is completely eliminated as well. But over here, Cyanide with 3 eliminations to their name. But with all 4 members left standing over here in the open field, it is gonna be a blast. Literally. Playzone takes Terror X, however, but denies that elimination from any of the other squads. And so far, it looks like Tranquility versus DMT. DMT Hunter getting eliminated completely by the hands of Tranquility. That's one more point to their name, and it looks like these players, they're just playing it safe. They are at the edge of the circle trying to get their locations secured, and now we're just gonna wait out this grenade battle because this is an open field. We'll expect that everyone will have their bodies on the ground, and so it'll be a harder target to hit. But so far, 4 teams left remaining. It looks like Cyanide has all 4 members standing, Tranquility and DMT with 3, and OTF, unfortunately, just the one man standing. This might be the most interesting part of the map.
At least though they got bushes, so at least they can see cover from that. But again, it's still kind of disadvantageous, especially with Cyanide here. Especially if they have that vehicle, so they're also prepared. But again, they're still seeking cover towards the smoke and just really using the grenades right here for the side of OTF with the last member standing, just contributing to the fight really, and being that third party who maybe will do the cleanup later on. But for now, the cyanide here from the Game Over OTF, it's looking kind of slim and is really just seeking cover while the rest of the teams here are battling it out here. Cyanide here with a lot of chances of winning this, especially they all got their members alive and kicking, while TRQ is also 1 member down and 1 member alive, and it's gonna be up to 3 teams. OTF and Cyanide and the Tranquility right here, while OTF is looking for an opportunity to clean them up, while Cyanide and Tranquility are going into battle here for the chicken dinner, while their guns are spraying right here. The shots connecting. Game over OTF now here is actually down, and it's gonna be up to the last 2 teams, the Cyanide and the Tranquility.
Nah, this is between Cyanide and Tranquility. Cyanide, they have to revive, and that is the revive that we need now. There are 2 members left standing, and Cyanide, when that grenade will it
And
connect,
another
it seems that one will be getting knocked down on the side of Tranquility. Now the last member standing, Cyanide, getting those sprays in. And who gets that winner chicken dinner? That would be SDMZ Cyanide, taking down TRQ, and they secure the second chicken dinner for this map, for this day actually.
And it's also commendable for Cyanide because they've been playing well, and I think they really planned this out, especially for Erangel, and I guess they're really prepared to just be aggressive at this point. But you also have to take to actually be aware of the Night Raiders because they're also at a move here. But for now, the spotlight remains at SDMZ Cyanide as they grab their chicken dinner.
Yes, and the overall rank of 3, total points of 59. Still, it's a long way from the top 1 syndicate, but still, top 3 is not bad. And this is the winner chicken dinner team stats, with Chamanka having 2 eliminations, Haisham having 3, Shano with 0, and Blanky with 2. And taking a look at their damage, it seems that Haisham has the most damage with 3 eliminations and 479 damage. And of course, we'd expect that their team had a really good survival time. It looks like they mostly have 23 minutes. And of course, Shanu got picked off quite early on, but still, it's just a matter of seconds. And so, congratulations once again to Cyanide. And this is the match summary with 55 eliminations, 55 knockouts, total healings of 4,371, grenade eliminations of 6, 27 assists, and a 0 vehicle eliminations for now.
Hmm. And if you do compare these two teams, Cyanide and of course the Game Over Lawns right here, the damage is leaning towards on Lawns side, but still they see Cyanide managed to grab that chicken dinner with 3 knocks, while Lawns here got that 7 knocks and 9 eliminations. And though it's, if you do compare them, Lawns is more on the aggressive side here. Still, Cyanide remained on top as the chicken dinner grabber.
Yes, and the MVP, of course, none other than Soli from Game Over Lawns with 4 eliminations and damage of, wow, 728. Soli is on fire. 2 assists, knockouts of 3, and heals of 173. Survival time of 19 minutes and 29 seconds. Coming in second would be Shisui of DMT with 3 eliminations. Sainte of OTF with 3 eliminations. Mad from Lawns having 4 eliminations, and Ryu Days of Game Over Esports with 3 eliminations. Just taking a look at their damage quickly. Looking at the number 1, 2, and 3, they have the line of 700 for just one game, for just this match. And of course, we see the household names. Maddie once again showing up, and Ryu Day as well. Very consistent performance from these players.
And now the Cyanide has grabbed their chicken dinner. Also here for the match rankings, that's gonna be followed by Game Over Launch, as we've seen a while ago, to be followed by OTF. Also a remarkable move right there for OTF to be at the top three, even though they have only one member remaining, to be followed by Tranquility. And also here for the remaining top 10 to 15 teams for this match, that's gonna be SDMZNG, to be followed by TTS Esports. And now looking at the overall rankings as well, Syndicate still remains on top with 92 points, to be followed by DCM DNT with 63, and Cyanide with 59, as well as the Game Over Esports.
Yeah, 59 as well for Game Over Esports. And with fifth is Lawns with 58. And so for those teams that really want to catch up and try to land at least in the top 4, they have to work extra hard. Although it'll be a far cry to try to go against 92, especially if you're, say, in the line of 40s. Still, the top 2 is still at the 60s, I believe, or maybe the 50s. And so there's a chance, especially if you work extra hard to get those future winner chicken dinners and really bag a lot of eliminations. And once again, these are the top players overall so far. So Soli does get the bags the first place with 21 eliminations. Mad getting 20, Ryu Days with 15, Pew Pew with 19, and Manu 16. Of course, it's the same names and they are quite consistent with their performances. So absolute kudos to these players. And those of you who are watching the stream, of course, make some noise. Go ahead and cheer for your favorite teams. And that was match number 8 with Cyanide's Chicken Dinner bagging a 17 points in Erangle's the first Erangel map rather. And so of course we will be seeing match number 9 later on. Another Erangel. And so for now, that was match number 8. That's what we've witnessed so far. And we will be moving on to match number 9, Erangel number 2, after a short break. So if you're still tuning in, please don't go anywhere. We'll be back after a few minutes.
You were saying you're so brave? What happened now?
Man, what is this lone survivor guy even saying? He doesn't even have subtitles.
I think he's saying we shouldn't have opened the book.
Lone survivor guy is the most intelligent among us. I'm sure he's asking us to open the book. By the way, what is this?
This thing seems very valuable. Give it to me, you'll break it.
I can break girls' hearts, bones of enemies, but not this. I'm sure I go. Whoa, whoa, whoa!
Let's run from here.
Let's go.
These seem like werewolf experiments.
And this? These are vampire serums? Huh? Look, this must definitely be Dracula.
Should we touch it?
No. We shouldn't touch it at all. But let me tell you something. I've seen in movies that cracking the serum gives you extra powers.
He's saying not to do anything like this.
Oh man, are you understanding this better? Maybe he's saying to try it. Look, even the diagram on the wall suggests it. The picture says it all.
I have returned.
I can feel the power!
And welcome back to Maldives Championship Contender Series Season 3. This is day 2 of the grand finals. We just witnessed match number 8, the first Erangel map for today. And we are moving on to match number 9, Erangel number 2. Once again, we're your casters. My name is Annie. Tonight with me is Mike. Mike, what did you think about the matches today so far?
I mean, it's still looking pretty good for Syndicate while they hold on to their number one spot. But also, we've seen some teams that are starting to show their potential. One of them, that's Night Raiders, and of course, Cyanide, which they actually got their chicken dinner in the previous match. But here, two more Erangel matches, which is this and the next one after this, to be followed by two more Miramar matches. And, I'm curious on how they're going to do it, especially with Syndicate trying to keep their number one spot while the rest of the teams are trying to take that away from them.
Yes, and I was worried for Syndicate back there because they didn't bag any placement points. They got picked off really early, but now that just might change because you don't have a lot of you don't always have the game in your favor. It might depend on where the circle will go or where the flight path is, or like if you manage to run into another squad very early on and you still didn't get any good guns before your first engagement. And so it looks like that circle will just be around the flight path, and so it'll be a little bit easy for these players. And hopefully, we can see in a few minutes some early game engagements. I'm really crossing my fingers right now.
Yes, exactly. And seems like the circle is really being merciful for now since it favors most of the teams. I mean, you have to look at Tranquility, which is a bit farther away from that circle, but some of them got inside, and it just really at the edge. So they're all good for now. They can loot well and just really gear up for later on.
Yes, and that is the plan. They have to loot for now because this is early in the game. It's not even 2 minutes in the game just yet. But over here, LHC Esports, they probably don't know that there is a squad nearby. Simp is just around the corner, and whether or not they will run into each other, let's just have to wait and see. But hopefully they do.
hmm And so far, so good. Once again, I mean, it's more of a vanilla gameplay as of now since we're at the 2 minute mark, nothing's happening. And really, it's just a matter of gearing up as soon as possible before you can actually go for a lot of engagements. Because for now, nothing's really happening. You just get a lot of loot, go for another couple of buildings, trying to secure that area, and just prepare for some action that's gonna happen later on. But yeah.
Yeah, basically, that's just the plan right now because it's a little bit quiet. But here, our favorite syndicate, our favorite, we don't want to be biased, but look at those points 92. That is about 29 points away from DMT. And so It's just something, it stands out. It stands out like the creme of the crop. They are almost 30 points away from the next ranking. And that's to think that they didn't secure any placement points in the previous match. But okay, once again, just taking a look at everyone else, how they're faring. It looks like at least below the top 5, there are some teams that are just a few points away from Lons's 58. But if we're talking about, say, around LHC below, they have a lot of points to catch up to, and so they have to step up, rethink their strategies, and try to find a way to really place their names higher into the leaderboards.
And really, for now, they're trying their best to again take down Syndicate as soon as possible. I think this is the game plan for all of the players at this point. I mean, you do again. That was a while ago. Cyanide and Night Raiders. They do have that potential, but still, they're trying to look out for Syndicate, especially that they don't want Syndicate to even widen the gap. That now that DMT is starting to catch up.
And DMT, they will catch up, but it will take a while. There are two factors here. They have to deny Syndicate of those points, and at the same time, they have to rake up placement points and elimination points. Because 29 points, that's a huge gap, and that's a long way to go before they can really overtake Syndicate. If anyone will ever overtake Syndicate at this matter, because if Syndicate they continue to perform consistently, especially with Pew Pew always showing up in the top players in the game. That's just something that's gonna be hard to beat. That consistency in the gameplay that you are showing. But so far, speaking of consistency, no one is shooting at anyone. It seems that none of these teams are still running into each other 5 minutes into the game.
hmm And with the rest of the teams here, we're still at the 5 minute mark. Nothing impactful is gonna happen yet. Especially that the circle was also big enough for all of the teams to fit in. So it's not really something you don't really kind of expect a lot of engagement. For now, TTS Esports are kind of looking for some targets, but they know deep inside that they can't fully commit yet, especially that they're not fully geared up.
And they have to gear up for the late game and the mid game, especially if you want a chance to survive those engagements. And so the plan for now is, after getting those resources in, after getting those gears up, those ammos, and getting those grenades in the bag, you have to rotate into the area where the circle favors and try to predict, where do you think the circle is gonna go? Where do you think stage 2 of the circle is gonna go? Because that is the question everyone's wants the answer to right now. But for now, they don't have that information, and so they will be trying to rotate into an area where they can secure a pretty good spot, maybe a high ground or a buildings, perhaps within the circle.
hmm And with Game Over at OTF, I think they've learned their lesson as a while ago, especially for last round. And I think they're really trying their best to stick for each other here, especially that it's just too risky to actually leave one player and to actually depend on that player to go for some placement points. It's really hard for that, especially a while ago that they did manage to get the third place, but they could have done better in terms of the team if they all stick together.
Yes, and that's the plan right now. They have to stick together if they don't want to get picked off. If you get picked off, at least your other members can revive you. But for now, still nothing's happening. It's already 7 minutes into the game. There are a lot of squads making noise right now, and despite that fact, there's no one getting spotted. And so that's just saying a lot about how these teams dropped off. But over here, Game Over OTF spots a member of Lons. They get that knockdown. Will they get that finisher? It seems that is the case, but one member from OTF gets traded off as well. OTF in trouble. Two members needing that revive, and one member, Terror X, in a very low health. And so the skirmish continues outside of this building. OTF versus Lons with that vehicle going in, hitting Terror, but Terror gets their lives lost. But Lons, it's not done just yet. Toma is still alive, but Game Over OTF. It's game over them for them now. And with that, that is the first team elimination in this map.
and all of the teams here, if you also watch Night Raiders, are still into that danger zone, which is not really that kind of the damage isn't really that big yet, but they could be at the disadvantage if ever they go to the play zone and then just meet some teams that are ready to clean them up.
And I hope that doesn't happen soon, especially for your favorite teams. You don't want them getting wiped out. But over here, Crown spotting members of TTS and whether or not they will try to shoot at each other, that's just something we'll have to wait and see. But it looks like Crown is actually the third party in this scenario right here. TTS is shooting at someone else, but White over here. White, they spot members of TTS at a distance. Will he try to get those eliminations? It seems that White is in trouble as well. He's getting shot at, but that would be his vehicle, and he has gotten out, and it looks like he's trying to secure a good spot to shoot. But over here in Lona versus TRQ, they also have their own problems getting those knocks, getting those eliminations in the bag, and whether or not who will come out victorious, we'll just have to wait and see when one team gets picked off. But over here, Tranquility, yes, we finally see their perspective. It looks like Tranquility has three eliminations in the bag, three eliminations to their team, and so that's just saying something about Lona. Exactly, Lona is getting picked off, and with that last nail in the coffin, Lona gets completely goes down by the hands of TTS.
And now Crown here, they're actually seeking cover in this house here, but it's still very dangerous for them since they're at a low ground and really the shots didn't connect right there. They're at a low ground, so it's kind of disadvantageous for them if they get picked off from afar, especially from someone in the higher ground. And while the other members of the crown as well are looking for going in for some clever rotations right here to take down their enemy in the flank side.
Yes, and taking down the enemy, that would be happening. But for now, Crown, they only have one elimination to their name, and Black is already out of the game. TTS, however, in the high ground, they be able to spot Crown? We'll just have to wait and see. But for now, they have their vehicles. And it looks like, actually, I believe that was a member. Yep, that is White inside that vehicle trying to lure TTS somewhere. I don't know what White's plan is right now, but he is outnumbered by TTS, and this is not looking good for White. He will get picked off sooner or later. That's a knock. And will TTS get that finisher? Yes, sooner or later that will happen. But over there, Joker from the other side in the high ground, they have spotted a TTS as well. TTS with the numbers advantage still, but White will get completely eliminated. That is the second elimination to the name of TTS. Will they get a third? Will they be able to shoot another member of Crown? That would be Joker from afar. Shafu will try to get that opportunity. Whether or not we'll see a finisher on Crown, we'll just have to wait and see after this.
Hmm. And all of the teams really at this point, they're I've noticed that Syndicate is trying their best as well to be outside of their radar as to not get detected and to not really get finished off early on. So they're playing carefully here now, especially that again they're still at the number one spot. They're just holding on to that and really just playing safe here. Especially that we haven't seen much of their highlights, especially during matches like Erangel, which I think it's not their map, which is not their favorite map because they usually win on Sanhok and also Miramar. But for now, we're looking at other teams, especially now that they're starting to actually garner enough points to go to the top four.
Yes, and that is the goal, getting top four. Because those who are going in the top four, they will be invited to the invitationals with a bigger prize pool than the season three contenders. But for now, it looks like Game Over Esports and Strubble Natsu got knocked down, but they will be able to get that revive. But they're not out of the woods just yet. Fan returns from a distance. They want this engagement. They want those eliminations in the bag. But for now, it seems there are three different squads nearby. This would be Simp, LHC, and Game Over Esports, all holding their own locations, their own positions. And now it's still a standstill between these three squads, but that won't hold out true anytime soon because look at how many colors there are in such a small area. They have to run into each other and eventually they will pick each other off. Speaking of picking each other off, LHC trying to get those bullets to connect, but so far no one's going down just yet.
And now that the circle is showing up already here on the north northwest, sorry, under the northwest side here, I think all of the teams here are starting to actually go for a clever rotation on this one. Since that most, if you look at Tranquility right here, they're also going around the circle because I think they know that there are a lot of enemies in the middle. So I think they're going uh, to the flank side to actually catch them off guard, while the rest of the teams are also just scattered here. And if you have to take a look, Crown is actually scattered, which is a bad move right here. If since they're heading to a lot of teams, that's gonna be a hard time for them to do this, especially if they get caught on by another team.
Yes, and actually, I've noticed Crown has been employing this strategy so far within this map, and one after the other, Black and White of Crown, they got picked off one after the other, and so Joker and Suit right here, they are still separated. But now it seems that Soot is rotating to where Joker is. Bottle over here, LHC, they are in trouble. One member on the red and getting knocked down completely as well. But LHC, they need those eliminations. They're throwing everything that they have, trying to get those smokes in, trying to revive their members. But so far, it's not looking very good for them. They need to heal up. And it looks like they already lost two of their members on their side and one member still needing that revive. And so it seems that they have the opportunity for the revive in order to walk away with two players left standing. But that's not gonna happen now with that shot. Will that be the end of LHC? Will we see that finisher? Will we see that banner saying LHC has been completely eliminated? Yes, they have been completely eliminated. Just taking a look at the leaderboards.
And already 15 minutes into the game and three teams are down. So again, we're kind of seeing here an aggressive approach later on, especially all of the teams are gonna go for clash. But looking at here now, Lons is very careful, especially with the grenades, to try to get some damage before they go in for the rush. But over here, already one down from the side of Lons. A lot of grenade downs right here, and one member of the Lons right here are going to avenge his teammates while he's still looking for some cheeky spots, trying to look for some off angles and just really trying to flank them before they can get a move on. But seems like he has been spotted. He has to move away from that, and it's just really a matter of playing rock paper and scissors here with the grenades and just really avoiding each other. And again, it's just a matter of patience as well here, since they have to be. Oh, seems like a third party has already taken them down, and that would be the end for the game over longs.
Oh, unfortunately for Anish, they did not spot NG from the distance and he gets shot at, and that was the end of his squad. But for now, game over Simp, it seems. They lost one member, yes, they have, but they still have zero eliminations to their name. And just taking a look at the leaderboards, they're still top number 14. Unfortunately, they need those points. They need those points to even secure a chance of getting to the top 4. But over here, it looks like game over esports. They will be running into another squad nearby, and now they have their vehicles trying to get a really good location for a potential engagement later on. Speaking of engagement, DMT versus TRQ in their vehicle getting shot at, trying to get away from the bullets that are trying to connect from DMT. Hunter trying to hunt down the members of Tranquility, but it looks like they won't be getting those eliminations just yet.
And all of the teams, once again, we're almost in the 17-minute mark, and four teams are down. So it's looking kind of slim, especially for some of the teams with Crown having the last members here, trying to go for placement points while also trying to actually get some kills if they do have the opportunity. But if you look at the other teams as well, Syndicate is also alive and kicking with three members remaining. All of the teams actually do have three members remaining, except for Crown, which has only two members, while Fen returns here playing it safe with four members alive and kicking.
Yes, And that is the case for now with Game Over Esports trying to get those eliminations in the bag. So far, they have 3, but they are looking for more. They have to look for more. But X is over here getting shot at in their car. But it looks like he will be surviving for now. It looks like a Game Over Esports. They have 3 members left standing, all the while Simp against Game Over Esports. Simp has the numbers disadvantage. Game Over Simp trying to rotate in with the car, with their vehicles, and that grenade will be giving that friendly fire. But Fan, on the other hand, this is a third party coming in this area, in this situation right here. Game Over Esports trying to get those bullets to connect at a member of Simp, but Simp, they will be surviving with 1 member left standing. Rinio is getting shot at, and that is the end. Wow, all the way from over there with Fan returns. Oh, game over, Simp. It's game over for you for now.
And again, all of the teams are, I think they're starting to slim down, especially that they got 10 teams remaining. And if you look at the map here, most of the teams are still scattered outside the play zone, though the circle hasn't shrink yet. Still, they have to be prepared for that, especially that they're very near to the danger zone. And if we do get inside the play zone, they will be greeted with a lot of enemies. And we already saw one of them getting killed by that Molotov right there.
And we have to tread carefully because here DMT, they have spotted members of Syndicate. None other than the top 1 versus the top 2. Isn't that ironic? But DMT, they have the numbers disadvantage. Sane is the last member standing. And all the while, Tranquility versus Game Over Esports, it's not over for their 2 teams just yet. It looks like there's someone. Crown coming in with the car, but in the end, it was 1 knockdown on the side of Crown, but Tranquility's Maxi gets away. Wow, after getting shot at point blank by the members of 2 members of Crown, no less. And here, looking for a third, spots Game Over Mastis in the water. Will he get that elimination? It is a sitting duck. Mastis is a sitting duck on the red, and that is a complete elimination. One more elimination. That is game over for Game Over Esports for now.
I do admire the effort though, but right now I have to take a look at the Night Raiders right here trying to fight them, but one of them already getting down. 1 member getting down as well from the Night Raiders. They will be eliminated right there as they get killed. And of course, the other teams are trying to join in the fight, especially Cyanide here, looking for some opportunities, looking for openings to get some kills right here. But also the other enemies are just really trying to seek cover right here before they go for an action.
Yes, and who needs to get action? That would be Cyanide because they already lost 1 member, but they still have 0 eliminations to their name. And speaking of elimination, Sante loses their life to the play zone, and that just reminds me, stage number 5 of the circle, that is some good damage coming in from the play zone. And so these last few teams, they will need to rotate inside the circle. It's either get killed by the circle or get killed by everyone else's bullets. And so Syndicate, they have 5 eliminations to their name, doing really well, but people got eliminated off. Tranquility, it's not over there for them just yet. They spot Fen in the water. They are shooting at target practice right now. Dani getting those eliminations after eliminations. Wow, look at that number of points. 11 eliminations. And they are already within the top 7 teams of this map. And so it's looking really good for the statistics of Tranquility for now.
And now, looking at the Tranquility here, they have 1 member remaining, and it seems like that would be the end for them, as what I think I just mentioned. And they did actually end it out. Actually, we're now down to the last 6 teams, which surprisingly, Fen here is also holding up onto it. And I think now seems like another team just got eliminated. So now we're down to the last 5 teams, and now Friend returns again. They're being very careful. They do got 2 points for this, so once again, they're just eyeing for the placement points right here to maybe motivate them and to actually start some momentum for them, especially that they're kind of at the lowest right now. So they do have to get some points before they start making a comeback. But for now, DMT will be down. And now we're down to the last 4 teams. It's going to be Fen Returns, Cyanide, TTS Esports, and DMC Syndicate.
Yes, it will be between these 4 teams. And looking at the numbers, looks like Syndicate will have the advantage, but TTS Esports shooting at Fen. Fen was just standing there in the lower ground, and that would be the end of Fen Returns. Now, top three teams. This will be between Syndicate, TTS, and a Cyanide. Syndicate having three members left standing, TTS having two, and Cyanide having one. If we're talking about momentum, it's TTS that has it. They have 8 eliminations to their name, but still, Syndicate, they have the overall momentum. They are the top one team, and so Syndicate over here with 6 eliminations to their name and still 3 members left standing. Maddie was able to heal themselves up, and so all eyes on Syndicate, Cyanide, and TTS. This circle is stage 7. These last few players, these last 6 players, they don't have a lot of choice. They will eventually have to face each other, and who will come out of this alive? We will see in a few minutes.
And now down to the last three teams. It's looking good, surprisingly, here for Syndicate. They have three members, and I've noticed that they're not really that good in the Erangel, but now seems like they're getting the hang of it. And especially they got 6 points, and they're going straight into the first rank. Then that's it's looking good for them once again. And if you look at it, Cyanide, the chances are slim here. They have one member remaining, and TTS Esports one down, one member remaining as well, and seems like trying to revive here, it's gonna be tough for them. And now Cyanide has been eliminated, and it's just gonna be up to these two teams, TTS Esports and and Syndicate rather. And again, it's looking slim for TTS Esports. They only have two members remaining. One is down, and I think they just got revived. They're trying to fight back here with only the rock to protect them from all the bullets, from all the grenades. And seems like Syndicate here are just being very careful, especially that they know that TTS Esports is also a good team to deal with. And Mad here just waiting for the perfect opportunity, and the rest of the team especially. And seems like Mad is already been eliminated, is already been down, and it's just gonna be up to these last two members of Syndicate to go for the push.
Yeah, Syndicate still with that numbers advantage, but this is the part where everyone has to keep their eyes peeled. This is a grenade battle between TTS Esports and Syndicate. Sprays coming in. No one going down just yet. Syndicate, they still have all 3 members left standing. It seems that TTS is all alone with Shafu, however, but Syndicate, they are not having a good time. They are not having an easy time. Oh no, I'm kind of wrong here. There are 2 members left standing in TTS, and so Syndicate, they will have to push, and that push is gonna happen 1 versus 1 between Rips and another member of TTS, but that is a 2 versus 1, and with that pick off, it looks like the victory of DCM Syndicate once again.
Once again.
These guys, what do they eat for breakfast? This is their second winner chicken dinner for tonight.
I think they ate a lot of chicken dinners for that, and
Yeah.
especially now that they got their fourth chicken dinner, we still got three more matches, and they're really gunning for that number one spot. They're widening once again the gap here for the points, since now that they got 18 match points. And of course that's part of the placement points right there, with now the total points up to 110 points.
Not only did they cross the 3-digit mark, they bulldozed through the 3-digit mark from around 84. I believe it was 84 points, or was that
Won't
92,
change.
93
92.
points? That goes up to 110 with 18 match points. These are the individual team stats of Syndicate. Mad having 1 elimination, Pew Pew having 0, Ripsy having 3, and Ayo having 4. Taking a look at the damage, Ayo did a lot of damage. And so these are your winner chicken dinner winners for tonight. And so very much congratulations to Syndicate for having a very consistent play style so far in this grand finals.
And if you look at the match summary right here, two got eliminated by the vehicles, which is kind of expected to see, especially that they were using it a lot of times. And also grenade eliminations, that's gonna be three. And if you do look at the healings, kind of a surprising turn right here, because for some of the matches they're usually like 7,000, but now we're up to 6,000, which I think it's just less on heals and really just more on engagements.
And yes, taking a look at these statistics for this second Erangel map, we can really see how these players fared, especially with the grenade limbs. It looks like it's quite low for the usual, grenade statistics, but this is the comparison between Syndicate and TTS. Syndicate having less damage while TTS having dealt 2,105 damage, knocks times 2 for the side of TTS with 10. Otherwise, Syndicate has 5 eliminations, 9 on TTS, 8 on Syndicate, and of course, the survival time is just few seconds away. But for the total points, Syndicate racks up 18 points, and on the other hand, TTS gets 15. And of course, our overall MVP is actually Shafu from TTS with 5 eliminations, 707 damage, 1 assist, 5 knockouts, heals of 270, and of course, the survival time of 25 minutes and 27 seconds.
And if you do look at the top players right now from match number 9, that's gonna be Shaft leading the charge here with number 1. To be followed by Cloud from same team, that's gonna be TTS Esports. To be followed by Syndicates AO, and to be followed by Zeke66 from SDMZNG. And of course, it's gonna be number 5 right there, of course, from the Tranquility. And it's still, if you do look at the two members of TTS Esports, they did get that MVP for the first and the second, which is remarkable. But nevertheless, in the end, Syndicate still managed to get the chicken dinner, and they just really I think they really planned it out, especially on how to just end it. They were really gunning for the placement points and to get that chicken dinner. And once again, for the match rankings, that's gonna be Syndicate to be followed by TTS and Tranquility.
Yes, and taking a look at the rest of the statistics, however, it's a good thing that no one walked away with nothing for this map. But there are 4 teams that only have 1 point from this Erangel map. But for now, the overall rankings, wow, Syndicate widened the gap so much.
Almost
Top 2
twice.
and 3 is a 66 points, all the while Syndicate has racked up 110 points. Okay, let's see. My math is pretty bad, but let's see. That might be 34 plus 44 points between Cyanide and Syndicate. That is a huge gap. Syndicate can pretty much put their feet up for maybe 2 or 3 maps, and that won't make a very big difference. But still, that consistency, and of course, that is a huge look at the top number 7. It's 62, and that's only 4 points away from the top 2, which is 66. So this gap, it's not that big, and so there's a lot of things that can change from just 1 or 2 maps. So these teams, if they really want a chance of bagging at least top 4 in this tournament, they have to step up. They have to step up their game and perform really consistency really well. Try not to get picked off in the early engagements, because the gap between top 2 and top, say, 9 is quite small, but it won't be the same for top 13 RDS Crown below, because 18 points is very far away.
And I've also noticed from the scoreboard, Fen Returns actually is now top number 14, while Game Over Simp is now down to the top 15. So they actually have to do more in terms of clashing, in terms of fighting the other teams, in terms of just gunning them down and gearing up. And I think Fen Returns, they're starting to get the hang of it in terms of their strategy to play it safe, especially when they're not that confident yet to fight them. But also for the top players right here, overall, that's gonna be leading solely right there, to be followed by Mad from Syndicate. And that's it. Game match number 9. Once again, winner chicken dinner for Syndicate, and they also got 3 more chicken dinners previously. So I'm excited to see for the next 3 games what they're gonna do, especially keeping that number 1 spot. And of course, the other 3 teams trying to keep them out of that number 1 spot. And before we move on to match number 10, we're going to be going in a short break. And again, we are your casters for tonight. I'm Mike, and with me is Annie.
These seem like werewolf experiments.
And these are vampire serums? Huh? Look, this must definitely be Dracula.
Should we touch it?
No. We shouldn't touch it at all. But let me tell you something. I've seen in movies that cracking the serum gives you extra powers.
He's saying not to do anything like this.
Oh man, are you understanding this better? Maybe he's saying to try it. Look, look, even the diagram on the wall suggests it. The picture says it all.
I have returned.
I can feel the power!
Brozomi? I'm I'm really scared.
Yeah, man, don't be scared. I'm here, okay?
You were saying you're so brave. What happened now?
Man, what is this lone survivor guy even saying? He doesn't even have subtitles.
I think he's saying we shouldn't have opened the book.
Lone survivor guy is the most intelligent among us. I'm sure he's asking us to open the book. By the way, what is this?
This thing seems very valuable. Give it to me, you'll break it.
I can break girls' hearts, bones of enemies, but not this. I'm sure I go. Whoa, whoa, whoa!
Welcome back once again to the Maldives Championship Contender Series. We are your shoutcasters for tonight. I am Moik, and with me is Annie. Now, Annie, what has been going on, especially with the past matches?
Yes, and actually, the past match was match number 3 of today, match number 9 overall in the grand finals, and so that was the second Erangel map for today. And so the next match will be the third Erangel map, and that would be match number 10 of the grand finals. This is once again the day 2 of the Contender Series season 3. We are so excited to see how these 15 teams will perform later on because so far, Mike, your favorite team, DCM Syndicate, they have widened the gap between the top 1 and the top 2. They have such a consistent play style, racking up all those points. And so I'm so excited to see how the other teams will fare in this map.
I mean, if you do look at it, a 44 points gap, it's a lot. I mean, at this point, if they do get the chicken dinner once again, then I think it's gonna be twice the points that the other teams will garner. But of course, they won't let that happen because I think, in the last match for today for Erangel, I think they've sort of prepared some counter strategy, but I think it's looking bad for all of the teams here because the flight path, I think, is more on the south.
Yes, it's definitely very biased towards the South. Not a lot of choices for these players. Although Pachinki, Gatka, Farm, even Milta, they are quite accessible. Still, it doesn't give a lot of room to choose for these teams. And so, Sosnovka military base, it has some really good loot, it has some really good resources and gears, but still, it is a hard to access place. And so, if there are a lot of teams vying for this drop off point, they will have to potentially run into a few other squads. And looking at the map, and looking at the circle rather, it looks like there is a chance that the end game of this map will be around the area of the military base after all.
And once again, we're still at the beginning, so most of the teams, I think they're really going in straight into the circle right away, just to really be secure at this point, while the other teams are a bit outside of the map, just near the circle though. But they once they head into the circle, they're gonna greet each other, so it's gonna be a bloodlust later on, especially on who gets the kill first.
Yes, and I definitely hope that will be the case because it looks like Game Over Esports and Crown have dropped off in the same place, and whether or not they will try to engage very early on. It seems that's the case. Crown, I suit, gets Xace on the revive, needing that revive, but Ryu Days already has 2 eliminations to their name. Joker and Whites have been picked off while we were having our little conversation, but Suit, it's not over for Suit just yet. He is trying to get those revenge kills for his fallen players, fellow squad mates. But for now, it seems that Crown will be a two-man team for now. But Suit does get one elimination to their side.
And all of the teams right now, they're I think especially with Game Over Esports, they're kind of thinking on how they're gonna play this, especially that they only got 2 members remaining. And I mean, if you're thinking about Rio Days as well, because Rio Days actually get some kills, so I think they do have that. They're being optimistic about it, but again, it's gonna be hard later on, especially that they're gonna have to face other teams.
And that's gonna happen sooner or later. But for now, Game Over Esports, actually, they walked into the lobby with only 3 players, and so that's already immediately a disadvantage for their team. Just having one less player left compared to everyone else. But Crown, however, Crown is walking around with only 2 members left, and so that's 2 eliminations to the side of Game Over Esports on the get go. Very early game engagement, and so far after that skirmish. Wait a minute though, not Sue walking by where Crown is. They don't have that information just yet. Do they not notice it might be the case? Because Game Over Esports, they've just walked by the last member of Crown, the last 2 members of Crown, and so Black might be out of the woods for now, but I don't know how long that will stay true.
And especially with that crowd looking for cover really in that house.
What?
Oh, seems like they've opened the door, goes in, tries to connect the shot right there, but an off angle kill. And it would end, of course, 1 member from Crown. I mean, he's still down, waiting for the rest of the teammates. But what an aggressive approach right there for Game Over Esports. I mean, they're really depending on that kill, especially that they have 2 members remaining. Right here, Suit right here tries to fight back, but he will get killed by Game Over Esports, and that's gonna mark the end for Crown.
Oh, Crown got eliminated so early on, but they do walk away with 1 elimination to their name. But meanwhile, Simp versus Fen. Fen gets picked off, gets 1 member get eliminated completely, and that leaves with a 3. I believe that would be 3 players left standing for Fen returns. All the while, Simp, they are trying to line up their crosshairs, trying to get some pick-offs. But so far, Fen won't be in that vicinity for now. So Simp, they will have to buy their time. But they see one of Fen having that vehicle making a lot of noise. And with that information, will they try to get that elimination to their name? We'll just have to wait and see.
Mhm. And looking for the side of Syndicate right here. Once again, they're playing it carefully, especially that they know some teams will encounter them later on. And yeah, I mean, a team is near them, but again, they're playing it safe as of now, as to not really attract attention and maybe get them killed early, because I think they've realized they reflected on that mistake. But we actually heard some gunshots right here, and it seems like one of the members from different teams are getting killed off screen.
Off screen, it's a lot of things are happening on other sides of the map, but over here, Cyanide, they have TTS outside of their doors. Will TTS try to push into this area? That might not be such a good idea for now, but Shafu is away from their team. It looks like they are trying a split of a push because these four members of TTS, they're quite spread out. And is it working to their favor? It looks like it might be working for now, but Cloud was getting shot at, but they get away with their lives. And so far, those shots aren't connecting. But TTS, it's not done for them. They are trying to get those bullets to connect, but the members, the other team won't be in that area, and so there won't be any casualties for now.
And if you do look at the TTS esports, um they were also hiding because it's still too early to get eliminated. I mean, they're not that confident yet to fight other teams, so they're just really playing it safe here. While the same goes for Syndicate really, and I think they will be aggressive later on. But for now, 7 minutes into the game, nothing's happening yet. Only one team has been eliminated, and that's gonna be Crown.
And so far, everyone else is faring quite well. Cyanide, they're still holding onto this position, and TTS over there in the lower part of the grounds. There was a third party, but it seems like they will be out of the picture for now. It might be possible that they've rotated out of the area, but TTS, they are still here to stay, as well as Cyanide as well. Whether or not they have information on the other, that's left yet to be seen. But TTS, so far, they aren't acting on that information just yet. They have a little bit of a push, a split push rather. Maybe they're trying to get some resources in the bag, but that's not the same for Cyanide. They are staying put and trying to wait out the other members of the squads.
Mhm. And once again, I mean, the circle here is, I think, it's gonna start to shrink later on, and it's dangerous, especially for LHC esports here. Since I mean, I do commend them for their actions right here because they're trying to go around it and to get to the play zone safely because they know that if they go to the other side, that they're gonna be greeted with a lot of grenades, a lot of bullets, and they just don't want to risk that.
And you should not risk your team's life here. But looking at LHC, they are outside of circle, but they are in the water and they're all in one boat. And once again, that's not a great idea, especially if someone from the distance spots your vehicle. Just one shot, and you all get picked off in the same vehicle. And that's not a good idea. But for now, since that was the water, they're not left with a lot of choices. But over here, game over OTF with still zero eliminations to their name. They have secured their position around this area near the water, but so far they won't be running into any other squads. But will that hold the same for everyone else? It seems that there's not much happening, there's no bullets being shot, and no one is losing their HP. So for now, everyone is having a quiet time, and those outside of the circle, such as Syndicate, they will have to rotate into the circle.
Mhm. And again, watching the POV of Syndicate right here, again, they're very, very careful at this point and just really making sure that they're gonna be aggressive later on because for now, if they're gonna rack up some kills, I mean, you're putting yourself at risk already at this point since it's too early. They could be eliminated. They could be the 14th team for this match, and that's just too big of a risk. Unless if you just really wait later on before you can fight them. But once again, we check here for the side of LHC Esports. They're again just trying to circle it around here and getting into the play zone as safely as they can.
Yes, that is what LHC Esports should be doing. They are walking around, not walking around, they're sailing around the water. I feel like they're trying to play another game here, the one where, you sail around in a ship. And they're trying to be pirates right now, but for now they are inside the circle, and so whatever their plan is actually in the water, it seems that they don't have any plans in going back to land. So whatever LHC Esports is planning, they have to rethink it because if you're not in the land, you're not where everyone else is. It's hard to get those elimination points in the bag.
Now we check on the game over esports here. Um, Again, it's gonna be hard from here on out. They got two members remaining, and I mean they do have that vehicles, but it's still gonna be dangerous later on, especially during the part where the circle is gonna be very very small, because you have no choice but to just really um, do the cleanup, and usually that don't end well especially and that puts Game Over Esports at a disadvantage right here if they're gonna commit for that. But I mean, earning for some placement points, that is still fine, while the rest of the team are still gathering. I mean, preparing, especially with their vehicles, just preparing for some encounters later on.
Yes, that's what they should do for now since for they're not running into any other squads. So what they can do is rack up those resources, get those grenades, get those ammo in order to prepare themselves for the late game. But for now, Lona, one member has disconnected and hopefully they can reconnect soon because having that numbers disadvantage with so many other squads still with four members left standing, that's not something that's good for their team. But looking at how everyone else is faring, it seems that Game Over only has two members left standing, Cyanide having three, and Fen having their lone member left standing. And if Lona's last member, Manu, doesn't get up soon, we might be seeing Lona with only three members left standing. They're doing? They're trying to like. Oh, are they
They're trying to get him
punching
out of the
him?
car.
It's not his fault, okay? Maybe he has internet problems. Just leave the man alone. Come on. Oh, look, they're just staying here. They're just
Oh
watching him. Oh, what is happening? He was just dancing. Oh,
no!
these guys, absolutely crazy.
At
I
least they're
hope
having
y'all
fun.
get shot at. Come on.
At least they're having fun. That's what's important right here.
They're looting their own mem. What
I
the?
mean, I mean, I would have wanted that if I was in that position. But they're having fun. That's good.
Okay, kudos to them. So they put Manu in a car, knowing that he's disconnected. They put him in the car so he dies in peace, basically. But yes, after Lona had their fun, it looks like it's still a little bit quiet here in Erangel. Game over OTF. Do they have plans with the water? It seems they have secured a vehicle. But over here, actually, everyone else, it seems in this area there might be a potential engagement because there are three different squads. There might be a fourth party actually in the northeastern side. Yes, we can see that shots being fired at Fan returns, but Syndicate will return those shots, but it won't connect completely into a knockdown. But that's not the same for Fen. It seems that Fen returns has been completely picked up, but it's not over yet. DMT, third party for Syndicate. Syndicate just coming out of an engagement. Will they get those shots on DMT? Shisui, his health is in 20%, and now it's down completely with that knockdown. Will they get that finisher? They will, and Pew Pew will have one elimination to his name.
And now Syndicate here, I think they're really on the move, getting that kill, and could be going in for placement points later on. But I think they're really ready. But of course, in the off screen kill right there, it's gonna be DMT. One of their members is gonna get that kill and maybe move later on. But of course, Fisherman is also down, so they're just waiting for the rest of the team to revive him on the spot, while the LHC Esports are also just on the move, trying to avoid all of them.
Yes, and here LHC having their car perform some very, very physics defying moves, just flipping the car around, but it's not looking well for their squad. However, there are only two members left standing with Mighty and Wright getting picked off already, but they have 0 points to their name. But that's not the same for Syndicate. They have 1 point to their name and they are hunting down Lawns at this distance. They are trying to get those pickoffs, but those bullets won't be connecting for now. So Lawns will be out of the woods, but this 4 times scope, will it give Maddie the result that they need? It seems that the answer is no because none of those shots are connecting for now. But DCM Syndicate, with those shots, they have given away their location.
And actually 15 minutes into the game, and only two teams have been eliminated for now. So this is again, as expected for Erangel, a map so big, while also the teams are kind of scattered a while ago, and it's just gonna be hard to locate each one of them. But for now, Syndicate here just looking for some openings to at least garner some kill points. But yeah, for now, nothing's happening. Nothing major is happening for all of the teams.
And it seems that Syndicate finally has something happening to them because Syndicate's Rips is needing that revive, and all the while it seems that NG and Sim have their own skirmish on the other side of the map. But Lona over here, Lona's one member, the last member standing, the last hope of their team. Their health is very, very low, and so they have to get away to even get a chance to get those placement points and potentially some other in eliminations. But over here, Game Over Sim, they're in trouble as well. One member needing that revive and another very, very low on health. The last member standing very low on health. But Goodman gets revived, and that's a two-man team for Game Over Sim for now. But they are having their eyes on NG at the distance. NG with their vehicles going around, trying to rotate into the area, trying to get a good glimpse on Game Over Sim, but will they get those shots to connect? It seems that Game Over Sim, they have their eyes on NG, throws that grenade, but in the end, it's NG who picks them off. NG, game over for Sim because NG has wiped them off completely from the map.
And now three teams are down, and I think we're starting to get to the end of this game right here because the circle is really starting to shrink. Though we kind of get the terrain that are starting to be like more of a hills, so it's still gonna be hard to locate each one of these teams. But for now, 12 teams in a very small area. I mean, any action is gonna happen later on.
And I hope that later on comes very soon because there's still 12 teams left standing and 17 minutes into the game. 39 players in this map, in this last Erangel map. And hopefully we can see some action later on. We are moving to stage 4 of the circle. That circle is closing in, and stage 5 is very close nearby. But here, Tranquility just spots a bunch of moving cars, and those moving cars are potential pickups, are potential eliminations. But over here, the empty spots, NG, they have their own battle. But so far, there are maybe 2 or 3 different skirmishes at the same time. It looks like Lons sees Cyanide as well. Cyanide picks up OTF. That was a third party then. Lons, CMD, NG versus DMT. It's quite a mess in this area. We can see that there are 3 different squads. They make that 4 actually. Syndicate shooting at Lons, but those bullets won't connect. But TTS gets a connection on game over. But so far, it looks like Cyanide will be getting shot at, but Lona sees their end. Lons, however, behind this wins that 1 versus 1 against Cyanide. But Anish, low on health, has to rotate out of there. But Cyanide, they get completely wiped off as well. That leaves 9 teams left standing in Arangal for now.
And now down to the last 9 teams. And it's just gonna be thrilling at this point since the circle is really starting to shrink down. All they can depend on are the pushes, the smokes, the grenades, and really just kind of sheer luck at this point because there will be a lot of third party engagements that will happen because the rest of the teams here, they're just a lot trying to occupy this a small circle, and it seems like a niche from Lons got already eliminated right there. And also, if you look at the Night Raiders, at least they have that good spot because they're hidden in a house. So, and they're also at the higher ground. So I mean, that's favorable for them. They can they can watch for some potential knockouts before trying to kill them down. But still, you're at the center, so you kind of get confident if ever that's gonna happen. Because for now, one member of the Night Raiders trying to get a kill with a shotgun, but he gets down instead. A lot of parties are involved in this fight. Night Raiders trying to help the rest of his team, but also the rest of the Night Raider members are trying to help them down and just end SDMZ right there.
NG trying to get those eliminations in the bag, but Night Raiders, their position, they have other members positioned all around, but one member of NG gets taken down just now. And will that be the end of NG? Yes, that will be a complete elimination with that last member, with that last nail in the coffin. But NRS, they need to revive one member, and that would be possible because they have come out of that skirmish alive, but they are not out of the woods. If you take a look at the map, there are so many squads surrounding this area.
And here, Game Over Natsu trying to get in, goes outside the car, tries to go for the bullets. The shots are connecting right there. Left with low HP remaining, just one more hit, and he goes down. But now he has the time to heal up, and the TTS Esports are now eliminated. And also looking at the off-screen kill right there, Tranquility gets kill, while the rest of the Night Raiders are seeking shelter once again to the houses.
And it's not over just yet. Tranquility trying to rotate it into the area, but there are lots of bullets going about, and Syndicate, they're still alive. Lawns as well. And Syndicate, they have the numbers advantage alongside NRS with all 4 members still left standing. OTF and Tranquility having 3, but that won't be true for long because there is a skirmish between Lawns and Syndicate. Lawns trying to get those grenades to connect to get some damage in, but unfortunately with the high ground, still Lawns manages to pick them off, but Pew Pew will get revived soon enough. And for now, it seems that one team was eliminated off. We're down to 6 teams, and so we will have to wait and see who will be the top 5 teams that will be staying alive in this map.
And yes, exactly. Down to the last 6 teams, by the way. And, you know, it's looking kind of slim for Game Over Esports and DMT because they have the last member standing. And yes, seems like Game Over Esports really went down. And that's going to be the last 5 teams once again with Tranquility. 1 member is down, waiting for the revive right there. Seems like he just got killed, and it's going to be 2 members remaining from Tranquility. And now it's just going to be up to these 5 teams. Syndicate, once again, it's looking good for them. All of the members are alive and well. NRS, like the Night Raiders right here, they got 1 member down, so they're looking for a way to fight them off. But looking here from the Tranquility side, 1 member is down once again, and that's gonna mark the end for RGC Tranquility.
And looking at the numbers, Syndicate still having the numbers advantage, but Night Raiders spots OTF from a distance, gets 1 pick off. Sin Pew Pew getting that Pew Pew in, but it looks like Night Raiders actually they don't get that knockoff. Will they get that elimination hour? Will they steal that kill? It seems that all eyes are on OTF, although there are 4 different parties in this area. OTF 2 members needing that revive, but Night Raiders are not done yet. DMT Sane gets taken down from that scenario, and that is the end of DMT after all. But Syndicate, they have their eyes on OTF and they want those kills. OTF, however, being the scapegoat in this area, getting shot at by 2 different squads, not doing very well. But however, Syndicate, they have spotted NRS as well, so this is a 3-way, basically 3-way between these 3 teams, and now they're going at it with everything that they have, with the grenades, with the bullets, none of them connecting so far. Until now, it seems that NRS has taken down Pew Pew. That's just a knockdown, so will they get that finisher? OTF still not out of the woods, unfortunately, but NRS loses 1 member. Will they get that finisher? Will they get that confirmation? Cyan, will he get that elimination in the bag? But slowly and surely, the play zone will also play its part. Syndicate with only 1 member left, standing mad, the last hope. It's Cyan, however, is the last hope of Syndicate, while Night Raiders have still all 3 members left standing. What's gonna happen now? Cyan, it doesn't look good. The statistics is not in his favor, and that just proves my point. NRS comes out with the winner chicken dinner for this 4th map of this day number 2 grand finals.
Yes, and actually, I've already noticed that pattern right from the start, especially when the Night Raiders was just inside the circle and was also using the houses as their cover. They also had the higher ground, which just really gave them that opportunity to just kill them and just actually go for wins. I mean, I've said this a while ago, and I'm gonna say it again. Night Raiders, they've shown their potential since game 1, and this is what I was expecting for them to pop off like this. Though they got the chicken dinner, Syndicate still ended up with the 2nd place. They still got a few points from that, but once again, the spotlight right here is for the LLN Night Raiders.
Yes, and they have secured the number 2 spot in the overall rank, and they have total points of 76. Although Syndicate came in 2nd place in this map, so that means they have raked up at least a significant amount of points. So from 110 before this map, I'm sure Syndicate has shot up to maybe 20s or 30s, 120s and 30s. And that's a long way from number 2, from Night Raiders. They have 76 points already. But here, the winner chicken dinner team stats, we see NRS, Moonsif having 3 eliminations, Lucid having 6 eliminations, DZX with 1, and retired. They have retired with 0 eliminations. However, those damage 305, it seems that his damage was taken away from him. The eliminations was taken away from his name because it's impossible that he's dealt that much damage, but he hasn't gotten like those skills. It might have been stolen from him. But here, the match summary with 52 eliminations, 51 knockouts, total healings of 8897, grenade eliminations of 5, assists of 32, and 1 vehicle elimination so far in this day 2 match number 10.
And see, I've noticed now that the trend for the healings has increased. A while ago it was 6,000, but now it was almost 9,000. It really shows that most of these teams faced a lot of bullets and just went directly for the healing. And now we compare the Night Raiders to the Syndicate with the damage is leaning more towards the Syndicate right here. But actually what happened in the end, what was just unexpected win right there for Night Raiders, uh, due to the fact that they were having a lot of important cover from the houses, and also they have that higher ground. Syndicate, they really ended up with a lot of disadvantage. They just can't really look for them. They just can't aim inside the houses. They can't do that. I mean, they could have thrown a lot of grenades, but still, it was really an unfortunate play for them. Once again, Night Raiders one bagging the chicken dinner. That's really really impressive because a while ago, really, that I've noticed that Night Raiders are starting to climb up, and we might actually see a team that is ready to take on the Syndicate, and that team is gonna be the Night Raiders.
But still, that might change really soon because looking at the gap between the top two and say top seven, it's still quite small. And so little differences in points in the next coming maps that might make a difference. But for now, Lucid is the MVP of Night Raiders with 6 eliminations and 590 damage. And of course, the rest of the top players coming in second would be Natsu from Game Over with 5 eliminations. Pew Pew, of course, once
Once
again
again.
with 5 eliminations. Mad with 2, and NG's Vasanthi with 3 eliminations. Of course, looking at Mad, however, with 805 damage, but only 2 eliminations. What has happened in this place? Why does Mad damage not coincide with with his eliminations? Maybe it was a kill steal, I don't know, but still the fact remains, Mud, they only bagged 2 eliminations despite having dealt so much damage. But that's life. Sometimes we win, sometimes we lose.
And I think Vad's damage right there really contributed to a lot to their teammates, and I think that's what also got Pew Pew the 5 eliminations. And at the end of the day, it really just matters on how you're gonna contribute together as a team. And we've really seen that with Syndicate. I mean, so far they're the best example for that. They really do strategize a lot, and then just really they have each other's backs. And I kind of see that from other teams. Like example for Crown, that they were not really together. They really stick together, and it was just kind of a bad move for that. Syndicate, however, you compare that to that, and they just stick together. And I think that's what the Night Raiders are actually doing as well, using that house, and they got that dibs on the houses. They were the first ones to just really occupy that, and it was just an easy win for them.
Absolutely right there. But over here in the overall rankings, wow, that is a 51, I believe, 51 point gap between Syndicate top 1 against Night Riders in top 2. So, top 2 and top 3, their gap is only 3 points with 73. And even worse, Game Over Esports, only 1 point gap from DMT. So, for these, from top 2 to top 8, potentially top 9, top 10 as well, there's only a few points separating them. It's a very thin veil, and it's so easy to overtake the other, especially if maybe hypothetically you get picked off early on in the game, you accidentally trip on a rock and someone shoots at you. Maybe it just comes down to luck sometimes, honestly, in PUBGM. Sometimes the flight path doesn't favor you, sometimes the circle doesn't favor you. And so for now, these top below below the top 1 Syndicate, they secured a really good spot, but for the rest of them, their rankings, it's not set in stone just yet, and so they have to keep that consistency in their playstyle. And these are the overall top players, by the way. This is Lance is solely coming in at number 1 with 23 eliminations. Mad with 23 eliminations as well. Pew Pew with 24. Ryu Days with 18. And Manu with 16. Those are the top players overall.
And yes, and I do kind of feel a little bit of a bad move right here for Solly. I mean, the rest of the team. I mean, he really did a lot of contributions to his team with the damage, especially that now he's the overall MVP. But once again, it's again a hard for the rest of the teammates to back him up on that, and it led them to their loss. But hopefully they can work that out, especially for the upcoming games. But of course, before we head on to game number 5, we'll be having a short break.
Bro, Zelmi? I'm really scared.
Yeah, man, don't be scared. I'm here, okay? Ah!
You were saying you're so brave. What happened now?
Man, what is this lone survivor guy even saying? He doesn't even have subtitles.
I think he's saying we shouldn't have opened the book.
Lone survivor guy is the most intelligent among us. I'm sure he's asking us to open the book. By the way, what is this?
This thing seems very valuable. Give it to me, you'll break it.
I can break girls' hearts, bones of enemies, but not this. I'm sure I go. Whoa, whoa, whoa!
Let's run from here.
Let's go.
These seem like werewolf experiments.
And this? These are vampire serums? Huh? Look, this must definitely be Dracula.
Should we touch it?
No. We shouldn't touch it at all. But let me tell you something. I've seen in movies that cracking the serum gives you extra powers.
He's saying not to do anything like this.
Oh man, are you understanding this better? Maybe he's saying to try it. Look, even the diagram on the wall suggests it. The picture says it all.
I have returned.
I can feel the power!
Bro, Zelmi? I'm really scared.
Yeah, man, don't be scared. I'm here, okay?
You were saying you're so brave. What happened now?
Man, what is this lone survivor guy even saying? He doesn't even have subtitles.
I think he's saying we shouldn't have opened the book.
Lone survivor guy is the most intelligent among us. I'm sure he's asking us to open the book. By the way, what is this?
This thing seems very valuable. Give it to me, you'll break it.
I can break girls' hearts, bones of enemies, but not this. I'm sure I go. Whoa, whoa, whoa!
Let's run from here.
Let's go!
These seem like werewolf experiments.
And this? These are vampire serums? Huh? Look! This must definitely be Dracula!
Should we touch it?
No. We shouldn't touch it at all. But let me tell you something. I've seen in movies that cracking the serum gives you extra powers.
He's saying not to do anything like this.
Oh man, are you understanding this better? Maybe he's saying to try it. Look, even the diagram on the wall suggests it. The picture says it all.
I have returned.
I can feel the power!
Bro, Zelmi? I'm really scared.
Yeah, man, don't be scared. I'm here, okay?
You were saying you're so brave. What happened now?
Man, what is this lone survivor guy even saying? He doesn't even have subtitles.
I think he's saying we shouldn't have opened the book.
Lone survivor guy is the most intelligent among us. I'm sure he's asking us to open the book. By the way, what is this?
This thing seems very valuable. Give it to me, you'll break it.
I can break girls' hearts, bones of enemies, but not this. I'm sure I go. Whoa, whoa, whoa!
Let's run from here.
Let's go!
These seem like werewolf experiments.
And these are vampire serums? Huh? Look, this must definitely be Dracula.
Should we touch it?
No, we shouldn't touch it at all. But let me tell you something. I've seen in movies that cracking the serum gives you extra powers.
He's saying not to do anything like this.
Oh man, are you understanding this better? Maybe he's saying to try it. Look, even the diagram on the wall suggests it. The picture says it all.
I have returned.
I can feel the power!
Once again, we are back to Maldives Championship Contender Series Season 3. This is day 2 of the grand finals. We just witnessed match number 4, the final Erangel map, and now we will be moving to match number 5 of today, which is our first Miramar map of tonight, rather. And we are your shoutcasters. Once again, my name is Annie, and tonight with me is Mike. Mark, what's up?
Well, thank you for that, Annie. Once again, we are now game number 11 for Miramar, the first match of Miramar map for today. And once again, for day number 2, the goal of these teams are to just really garner as much points as possible before they head on to get to day number 3, where they will just battle it out on who gets to secure the top 4 spots. And for as of now, it's looking good for the side of Syndicate. And of course, the Night Raiders are seem to have shown a lot of potential for today, and they might be challenging the Syndicate, and also the rest of the teams are also up for grabs. Especially that today is day number 2. Once again, they just have to garner a lot of points.
Yes, and that holds especially true for the top 2 and below teams, because top 1 syndicate, they have widened the gap so much that it's a bit hard to catch up. I don't think 1 or 2 games will be enough to really put the syndicate out of their spot. But for now, those in the top 2 and below, their spots are still not solidified into the leaderboards, because it's just maybe a 1 or 2 or 3 point difference from the next in their place. And so what they can really do now is play it safe, or actually play it aggressive, try to bag those points in the bag. But for now, Crown will lose 1 member on their side. Suit will be picked off so early on in the game, and they're not out of the woods just yet, because there's another squad nearby. That would be Lona, I believe. Lona is nearby, and they are looking for the rest of the members of Crown.
And once again, right here for the side of the Crown, 1 member is down, and of course, another member is also dead. Again, it's just up to these 2 members. But for now, for the side of Lona, 1 member is also low HP, which is surprising that some engagement is already happening as early as 2 minutes and 30 seconds. Like, I mean, I don't know, maybe they're really prepared, especially for Miramar, since that's gonna be the last map for today with just 2 games. And once again, day 2 is just really all about garnering a lot of points before they try to secure their spots for day number 3.
And since this is match number 5 of day 2, they have after this, they have about 7 other chances to really rack up points for themselves. But for now, Crown, it's not looking very good. So early on in the game, they're already getting picked off, and I can hear some gunshots being fired. But as to who will be going down at this point, that's left yet to be seen because Crown, they have the numbers disadvantage. If you compare it to Lona having two eliminations in their name, courtesy of their pickoffs on Crown. But right now, Crown, they have Lona surrounded. But all the while, LHC finds their own problems with Simp. And it looks like some knocks have been getting introduced. I can see a knife kill on Simp's suit. So that was interesting. But for now, Lona and Crown, actually Lona got into the game with only three members left. But Crown, they are shooting from the elevation, from the high ground, but they don't get that confirmation that they need. And so, with White giving away his location, he will have to rotate out of the area soon enough.
Mhm. And already from that off-screen kill from the Night Raiders, one has been down by the side of Lons, but also here Crown trying to fight for his life. The shot's trying to connect, but he will go down as now Lons will actually go down as well. RDS Crown, that's gonna be one member eliminated.
Yes, and Joker over here is quite all alone inside this area. So he's away from the excitement. Speaking of excitement, NRS shooting at Lons from a distance, and they do get that connections that they need. But in return, Lons does shoot down. Retired. They need that revive. They need that revive if they don't want to go down into a two-man team. And for now, Night Raiders will have to rotate out of that area because they are getting shot at by Lons. Lons, however, they're not faring as well. But after this revival of Anish, they will walk away with four squad members still alive. And of course, they have two eliminations to their name. And so it's a good start for Lons so far.
And exactly with 53 players remaining, and if you do look at it, Crown is the chances of Crown here are slim. With Lona here, still three members are alive, but they're still trying to get back from that gunfight a while ago. With Simp, one member is also down, and also Night Raiders with two members remaining. And it's just really about the teams just trying to get a lot of points for now. Not Lucid right here getting shot at, and we'll have to look for a way to actually rotate safely because they know the presence of enemies were already there.
Yes, and with that information, they have to act upon it. And so, NRS, with the numbers disadvantage, they have to get out of there and try to think of another way to approach their situation. But for now, just taking a look at the teams, it seems that Lona is quite low on health. So they have just gone out of another engagement, and so they'll have to heal and reset before they're ready to really face another squad. But for now, it looks like Crown still. I've noticed actually, I held this thought back because there was a bunch of engagements, but Crown, they love being split apart from each other, and that just results into one after the other their members gets picked off. And it's a good thing though for Crown for now because one member is left standing. They can get away, try to get those placement points. But on the other hand, since they can't help each other, they're not nearby each other, it just results into a harder time for their squad.
And looking here for the side of Game Over Lawns, trying to gather with the rest of the team here, and it's just really at this point looking for some on other buildings and just really gear up to prepare later on. And since this is Miramar, the new map, the first match for today in the side of Miramar, then maybe they will encounter some challenges, especially from other teams that are prepared to take chicken dinners. For example, Syndicate, which they got a chicken dinner last night, and it's just really challenging at this point for them to try to stop them because again, Syndicate is leading, but once again for the rest of the teams, they really have that's their challenge is to just really stop Syndicate in its tracks. Because Night Raiders is also showing a lot of potential. Here we have Munsif trying to shoot them down, but the shots won't connect, which just gives them a little bit of time to go safely.
And speaking of safety, Crown Joker, there's someone nearby and they are going into your location. And sooner or later, they will run into each other over here in the stairs. It seems that Lona hasn't spotted Joker, but Joker, in the other hand, they lose that 1 versus 1. Needs to heal, but his location has been given away. That heal will go in just in time, but will he win this 1 versus 1? It seems he's rotating out of the area. He is outnumbered. He is definitely outnumbered
Oh,
by the members of
oh
Lona.
no.
Shots not connecting, but behind this wall,
Oh
he will
no.
try to get those bullets to connect. But so far, not looking very good
No.
for Joker, and that is the end for Crown in the hands of Lona.
Yeah, that marks the end for Crown right there. With Joker, I think he lacks that ability to be serious because that's always the catchphrase
Haha.
for Joker. But yeah, looking at the other teams for now in Fan returns, they could be looking for some proper strategy here. I mean, they're scouting for some enemies, but you know they're kind of scattered. So if one goes down, that's gonna be hard for them to recover.
But looking at the strategy of Fen Returns here, they have heard those gunshots, especially when Lona was trying to take down Joker. And so they have information that there's someone in here. And so Jumbo Fen acts upon that information, gets some shots in, and he gets that confirmation. He will get confirmation soon enough. And yes, that is 1 point going to Foosh. But now there are 2 other members of Lona. They are within the vicinity, and Fen Returns has them surrounded from 3 different sides. And so, from different areas, they will try to get their shots in, try to get their shots in against Lona. But so far, Lona, they're not giving away their locations just yet, but now they're out in the open. One member of Lona rotating to where Jumbo is. Let's see who will win from that skirmish. 1 versus 1 so far. Manu versus Jumbo. Jumbo has a grenade in hand. Will that connect? Will that connect? That is the question now. But for now, it looks like Jumbo Fan will be resetting that area. Sidestep, just a sidestep, but the bullets will connect, and that will be a victory for Jumbo Fan. Will he get that confirmation? However, it's still not safe. Jumbo Fan still needs that heal, but he will risk it. He will risk for this elimination. Hopefully, no one will shoot at him, but this is a potential elimination for the side of Fen Returns. And for now, Jumbo Fan will be getting shot at, however, by the last member of Lona, trying to get that revenge kill, but he won't finish it off just yet.
And it was really at that point for actually commendable move right there for Jumbo to get that down, but still it wasn't safe. He has to secure that kill, but seems like that downed enemy was actually just waiting for his team to come back. But now Jumbo tries to shoot there. The shots connected, leaving one of the members with a bit of an more of an HP there, but still just waiting for that. I mean, he's behind that wall. So that's gonna be hard, especially now that Jumbo tries to hit it with the Molotov, but he completely missed that since the enemy was already crossing to another area. So for now, Jumbo is just taking his time right here.
And speaking of which, Lons and H loses their lives off cam, and that would be the end of Lons. Some other part of the map that just happens, but so far, Fen returns versus Lona. Their standoff isn't done just yet, and Lona, the last lone member of Lona, he will have to rotate out of this area because that circle is gonna close in right here. And so
Ooh.
Jumbo Fan takes
Ooh.
that chance. He spots the last member of Lona, and will he get those bullets to connect? It's something that we will see sooner or later. But over there, in the other side, in the western side of this point of view, there's another member of Fan Returns waiting for this time to strike. But so far, Lona is holding out well. How long can he do just that?
And seems like the rest of Fen returns right here are trying to charge that enemy, of course, just to really focus on garnering a lot of points. And now they're just really going around the house, but they're not aware that he's also very prepared. It was the distance is very very short. He gets spotted right here by Taza and going for a couple of sprays, and that would be the end for one of the members of Lona.
And that is actually the complete end of Lona after all. But NRS over here, against NG. Night Raiders already lost 2 members of their team, but NG, they have all 4 members left standing. Now this is a grenade choices. They have to throw those grenades, try to pick off that damage for now. But Night Night Raiders will be taking some damage. And so, what will happen between these two teams now?
Exactly, Night Raiders here are prepared to launch an all-out attack right here. They drop down. Night Raiders got eliminated right there. The rest of the team from NG are already gathering up their loot. It was just really a good execution since the Night Raiders were just at the bottom, and all they had to do was just drop down and just really end them all at once.
And all at once, that will happen soon enough because there are only 11 teams left standing with 43 players left remaining in this first Miramar map. But for those 11 teams still standing, core members is still alive. But so far, OTF, they have spotted another squad nearby. They have some sprays going on, but so far, no one is showing up in the kill feed. And so everyone still has all of their HP left standing. But OTF, they want those. They need those. They need those eliminations, and they're shooting at DMT. Shisui at the corner. One of the members of DMT needing that revive. Will they get that revive? I don't know if they have the luxury of that. But on the other hand, OTF, they are getting shot at. They are losing health sooner or later. And for now, this is a standoff. OTF positioned inside of this brick house. Inside of this destroyed brick house nonetheless. And all the while, DMT trying to rotate into the area, going for a push.
And they're actually cornered right here. They have no choice but to try to fight them off, especially if the enemies decide to push them in their areas, and it's just gonna be hard from here on out. Especially they have to keep their guard and to just really plant themselves. Sciente here trying to get out with a vehicle and just really go in for a reposition, while the rest of the team for OTF are looking for ways to actually go out of this mess.
Yes, but they won't find that way because it's a little bit hard to get out without getting shot at. DMT made sure of that. It's hard to even make a peek. But then, speaking of which, Firot just gets that peek and gets shot at immediately. But for now, it seems they still have all five members left standing in the side of Game Over OTF. But I don't know what's gonna happen for DMT, however. Still, none of these teams have the number advantage. They still have all four members left standing. But in the positioning, however, it seems that DMT had a split push on that area. But all the while, LHC has their own problems. One member needing that revive, but those crosshairs are going on to that mountain over there. They see that movement. They see that movement from the people moving and from the cars as well. But will those shots connect? It will be a no for now. But however, for Syndicate versus NG, that's not the same thing. It seems that NG will get a finisher on a member of Syndicate.
And yes, Syndicate right here, they're also being very strategic, especially that they're about to encounter one of the teams. But of course, they really have to pray because it's gonna be a challenge for them to keep that up. And already here, they're getting gunned down. Cyan trying to fight them off, trying to use the house for this advantage, and actually knocks down one member, while the rest of Syndicate are also waiting for the rest of the team to actually fight back. And here we get to take a look at Cyan here trying to rescue Man to help with the elimination for this one. Rips tries to get inside, helps his team, goes for the shots. The shots won't connect, and now he's circling around the house trying to look for a way. The grenade goes in, but now one member of NG goes down. PUPO goes into the house, tries to clean that up, while the rest of the NG are already down.
And of course, here we go. The Syndicate, I was worried about them. There were two members that needed revive, but all the while they were so strategic on reviving their members and at the same time dealing with NG. And now NG with two members left standing in their group. They need to revive one of those members, or maybe that member needs it needs a lot of healing. But so far, taking a look at this circle, there's a lot of open ground so far in Hacienda del Patro. But for now, it seems that the kill feed is a little bit quiet, and so we'll just have to wait for any of these squads to run into each other. That will happen sooner or later, but for now, we'll just have to wait.
And yes, I think it really shows Syndicate's true powers when it comes to teamwork. As a while ago, they were just getting gunned down, but the rest of the teammates were really looking for a way to rescue each other, and it did work out for all of them. And still, they get out of there all alive. And while here looking at the map, once again, most of the teams are already trying to get into the circle. With Syndicate here trying still to get in, but seems like they're gonna encounter a lot of teams and now the Syndicate will have a hard time to challenge these.
And we are rooting for Syndicate because they have been performing so well so far, and that it's just they still have all four members left standing despite almost getting picked off in that previous engagement. But speaking of engagement, we can hear some bullets being shot, but so far the kill feed is clean. No one is going down, no one is getting knocked, no one is getting eliminated. But Game Over Esports, they have spotted another squad and they are trying to get those bullets to connect, but so far whether or not that they get those eliminations that they need, we'll have to wait and see. But so far seems that some grenades are being thrown as well, and play zone taking the life of some people as well. But all the while, Tranquility joins the fray, throws some grenades, hopes for the best, hopes for some eliminations to their name. But Game Over Sim, they are getting bombarded inside this building by two different squads. Not looking very good for their team, and it looks like Simp loses
Oh,
one member, loses a second. Will they lose a second? That is not the case just yet, but that's gonna happen now with two members down. Game Over Simp not looking good. Third member on the red. Will this be the end of Game Over Simp? They are getting surrounded by two different squads. Not looking good for them anymore.
and if you do look at the map here for their side, I mean, they did really clean that out. But for now, Tranquility will go somewhere. Look for another possible openings with LHC getting an off-screen cam a while ago, and now the rest of LHC esports are just really gathering into this place to actually heal up and wait for a potential opening later on. And a while ago, I saw on the map that Syndicate is also uh, about to encounter a lot of the squads. So we'll have to see. I'm excited on how this will turn out. But for now, for Fan Returns is also they're actually showing progress for today and seeing them one in the top nine, and now even with a small circle, that's already an impressive thing for his Fan Returns, and we don't know, we might actually see some more kills from the side of Fen, especially now that LHC Esports are getting cornered right here on the house, and it's just gonna be up to the smokes to give them cover while the rest of the teams are trying to pin them down.
And that would be TTS Esports going against LHC. LHC inside this little house. But are they doing well? It seems that LHC, they are having the numbers advantage for now because the Jumbo. Oh wait, rather in the other side of some other place in the map, it seems a lot of things are happening. If we take a look at the leaderboards, there are lots of players in the red. Meanwhile, Syndicate's being bombarded. Syndicate's almost wiped out. Actually, Rips is the last member standing. This is not looking good for their side, but over here, Game Over not to trying to shoot at members of Fan Esports. Fan Esports, and all the while, Game Over Esports, a third party within this area between LHC and TTS. Between LHC and TTS, it seems that LHC picks off TTS, completely wipes them off the map. But on the other hand, Game Over Esports versus OTF from a distance as well. But Syndicate on the eastern side, everyone is congregating in this area. Seven different teams, 19 players last standing. Come out victorious. This is quite a mess in this area.
And now down to the last seven teams. It's gonna be challenging from here on out to try to eliminate as many as possible, especially with Syndicate one member remaining. I think they're just going for placement points here. The rest of the team, it's looking good for Game Over Esports. Four of the members are still very much alive, to be followed by TMT and Tranquility with three members still alive right here. Game Over Rio Days right here going for a couple of sprays, left with a bit of an HP, but will have to move back and will have to recover. But if you do look at it now, LHC also have a good chance since they have three members alive. But of course, Game Over OTF will go down while here looking at Tranquility going in. I think they're really executing this attack right here and just looking for some opportunity. But one of them goes down, gets gunned down. Syndicate will have to be eliminated, and now the rest of the Tranquility are just looking for an opening. Fen returns with ending with top five.
And we're down to the top four and 10 players left standing in the first Miramar map of tonight. Tranquility needs to revive their third member. All the while, DMT and LHC still has three members left standing. Game over, however, is almost game over for them because there's only one player, the sole player left standing for their team. But if we're talking about Tranquility, they have 10 eliminations to their name. A very good performance in this game. But over here, Game Over Esports, we're talking about the last player standing getting bombarded with Molotovs. But he manages to stay alive. He manages to hold his corner. But how long will that stay true? DMT trying to get that elimination in the bag, and he pushes on up the stairs. Not a good idea because you have the lower ground. Shisui gets gunned down by Game Over Esports, but Game Over Esports sees their end. By that is the third. That would be the fourth team, the top four team of this map. But now we're left with three.
And yes, now it's gonna be up to DMT, Tranquility, and LHC Esports. LHC here is outside. They might be at a disadvantage, but they're also prepared to whatever will come out of this building. But now, looking at Tranquility as well, they're also very, very careful in their positions. An airdrop, and a crate is already dropped, could give them some supplies, but that is not their priority right now. LHC Esports tries to throw some grenades to try to get chip down a bit of a damage, but that won't connect. For DMT, they kind of have a slim chance. It's this one player remaining, and the rest is just really up to these Tranquility and LHC. I think for DMT, what he could do is just to get involved in a third party and be the one to do the cleanup. But again, it's still looking. It's looking. The chances are slim here for DMT, while the rest of Tranquility are just really trying to finish this.
And if we're taking a look at the numbers, DMT definitely has a lesser chance of bagging that chicken dinner, but still, it's not impossible. But LHC gets one down using that grenade on the side of Tranquility, and Tranquility left with two healthy players left
Oh,
standing. But that is a confirmation in Inventory 77, and it seems that LHC Esports is not done with Tranquility just yet. One more needing the revive on Tranquility, and with that last kill, LHC bags that victory. The fifth match goes to LHC Esports.
And wow, LHC Esports, they really stepped up on top. I mean, they were also looking for some information from the enemies before they went for the push. They went for the strike. And really, it was just at that moment that when they found the Tranquility's weakness, they were just able to execute them all together.
And I agree with you right there with the overall rank of 10, overall points of 62. Still, although they rank 10, still 62 is quite easy as long as you consistently try to rank up those points later on. But for now, the team stats: Goat having one elimination, Mad Boy Sui with two, Mighty Sui with four, and Right He 69 with two eliminations. And that is the individual team stats for our winner chicken dinner, which is LHC Esports. And of course, these four players, they did really well. But if we're talking about the overall match summary, we have 53 eliminations, 62 knockouts, 8,726 total healings, 3 grenade eliminations, 31 assists, and 1 sole vehicle elimination in this Miramar map.
And yes, the healings here, it really just shows that there were a lot of engagements that didn't really end that fast, and so that other players just really went in for the heal before they went for another round of action. But for now, comparing these teams, LHC Esports and Tranquility, the damage here favors the Tranquility side, and also the knocks and the eliminations. But still, in the end, LHC managed just find their weakness and just was able to take them down that easily.
And this will be the MVP of this game, Tranquility's Titan. With 5 eliminations, 983
Wow.
damage. assists of 1, knockouts of 5, heals of 127, and survival time of 25 minutes and 15 seconds. So, this MVP title, it was well deserved. Who deals 983 damage in one game? Coming in second, however, will be Maito Sui from LHC with 4 eliminations. Zyphen having 3 eliminations. Lona's Manu 88 having 3 eliminations. And Tranquility's Kalhei 99k having 3 eliminations as well. And so, top 3, top 4, top 5, they have 3 eliminations each. The difference being in the damage, however, speaking of the damage still, taking a look at Titan. And this is the match rankings, of course, LHC having bagged 19 points, including that chicken dinner. But coming in second will be Tranquility with 17. And a big drop to DMT with only 10 points at third place. Game over. And Fan having 9 each. Syndicate having 6. Luna having 4, as well as OTF with 4. NG having 2. A little bit worried for top 10 to 15 here, since NG, the top 9th placer, only has 2. So, for the rest of the teams, if they want to step up, they have to play a more aggressive game, or maybe safer if they have been going aggressive. Whatever strategies will think that, it might work out for them, because their chances of bagging points for this in finals, it's getting lower and lower.
And yes, if you do look at the scoreboard right here, the gap for the points are still widening, with, of course, another whopping 50 points right here from the side of Syndicate. Compare that to DCM's DMT with only 83 points. That's a 50-point gap from them and the rest of the teams right here. I mean, we do have to commend as well LHC Esports for climbing up to rank number 10. But if you do look at it, yeah, the chances are slim for other teams to actually have a comeback later on, especially that we're heading into one last match for today and we head on to another last 6 matches for tomorrow. Then the chances are slim if the strategies of these players remain stagnant.
And especially for those who are far off from the top 2 to the top 4 spots. And you've noticed, actually, Night Raiders got thrown off all the way to top number 5, despite being top number 2 in the previous map. And so I was just saying, it was so easy to lose your place, especially around the mid part of the table, because their difference is only maybe 1, 2, or 3. And of course, if the map favors your team and that place, you have to rack up everything that you can. But here, the top players overall: Soli with 24 eliminations, Madi with 24, Pew Pew with 25, Ryu Days with 20, and Mano 88 with 19. Same old names, same old performances, a very good consistency coming from these players.
Exactly. And now we will head on later to match number 12. But if you do look at the wins right here, 2 more wins for Syndicate. And right here as well, there are other teams, especially with the Night Raiders and LHC Esports. They also got their win. And yeah, as we head on to match number 12 later on, I'm excited to see what's about to happen.
And we will be seeing that match number 12 very soon. But for now, we will be taking a short break. And so, for those of you tuning in, thank you so much. But don't go anywhere. We'll be back in a few minutes.
Man, what is this lone survivor guy even saying? He doesn't even have subtitles.
I think he's saying we shouldn't have opened the book.
Lone survivor guy is the most intelligent among us. I'm sure he's asking us to open the book. By the way, what is this?
This thing seems very valuable. Give it to me, you'll break it.
I can break girls' hearts, bones of enemies, but not this. I'm sure I go. Whoa, whoa, whoa!
Let's run from here.
Let's go.
These seem like werewolf experiments.
And these are vampire serums? Huh? Look, this must definitely be Dracula.
Should we touch it?
No, we shouldn't touch it at all. But let me tell you something. I've seen in movies that cracking the serum gives you extra powers.
He's saying not to do anything like this.
Oh man, are you understanding this better? Maybe he's saying to try it. Look, even the diagram on the wall suggests it. The picture says it all.
I have returned.
I can feel the power!
Once again, welcome back to the Maldives Championship Contender Series Season 3. This is day number 2 of the Grand Finals, and we just witnessed match number 5, our first Miramar map. And of course, as promised, we will be seeing match number 6, Miramar number 2 for tonight. Once again, we are your casters. My name is Annie, and tonight with me would be Mike. Mike, how are you doing right now?
Well, thank you so much for that. And once again, day number 2, the last match for today, and it's exciting to see how this will end because day number 3, the points will really start to matter. Day number 3 is just gonna be all about taking the place, securing your spots in the rankings, and just really it's just gonna be a very curious question to ask that whose team will win in the end.
That is the question that everyone wants answered, but for now, it seems that you're right. Syndicate is having the really good momentum in this game because they have racked so many points that they put such a big gap against the top two that follows after them. But for now, just taking a look at that flight path, very, very biased towards the south and not leaving a lot of room for these players to move about. So it's going from the western side of the map all the way down to Puerto Paraiso in the southern east part of Miramar. But so far, we hope since this flight path doesn't give a lot of room to move around it, I really hope to see some early game engagements just to make this map a little bit more exciting.
Exactly, and I think all of the teams are prepared for that, and especially given this map with a little bit of room to breathe, especially with a circle that is favored on the east side, and most of the players are kind of it outside that circle. But surely, of all of them will try to get in as soon as possible because later on, I'm pretty sure that the circle will really start to shrink. That even maybe a big part of the ocean is gonna be included, and it's gonna be a tight spot for all of the teams, and they just have to secure a lot of buildings to actually give them an advantage later on.
Yes, and they have to prioritize getting those locations in the bag and taking a look at ground. They got picked off so early on before in the previous map, and right now they already landed nearby Lona once again. And so, will we see a repeat of what we've seen in the previous Miramar map? Is this something that I want answered? But so far, they're playing it safe. They're going with each other. They're kind of congregating with each other, and they have all four members still left standing. Still, no one got picked off just yet, and it's a little bit quiet in the kill feed. Until now, I can hear a car, however, revving their engine, and so that gives away information. And how Crown will respond to that, it's something that we'll have to wait and see.
And I think they're just really being they're playing safe here because they're not trying to be spotted by the cars, especially that some of the members are also away from them, which is what I really noticed for the team of Crown is they're usually scattered, and it just really gives them a lot of disadvantages, especially when they get surprised in an ambush.
Yeah, that's the pattern that I've noticed with Crown. They get picked off so easily, but Lona over here, they're nearby Crown. I wonder if they have the information that they need because it looks like Yaish here is positioning themselves where Crown is, and so they must know that there is someone over there. And so they're getting ready, they're lining up their crosshairs, trying to see if they can find any movement, but that trigger discipline is doing its job. Crown, they are trying to keep it quiet as well. They weren't doing well. They are dead last 15 in the leaderboards, although they do tie with Sip. But here, Lona, Noah's Manu pushing in, trying to get that kill. But one member of a Crown, they are in trouble because Lona, they are being aggressive. And will they get that shot in? 1 versus 1 between these two players. But behind this door, it looks like Ayati will be going down by the hands of Manu, and that is a confirmation on their side. And with one elimination to the name of Lona, will they get the second? Sooner or later, we'll find out.
Yes, and I think getting that second kill will also matter later on, especially during the end phases of the game. It just really gives them an advantage if a lot of teams lacking members. But if you do look at it now, again, Crown with 3 members, they're fighting for their lives here, trying to look for a way, tries to squeeze in. The enemies are doing it all, but Crown takes them down. Still, he goes down by the knife attack right there, and we'll just have to wait for his death. And this is what I pointed out a while ago. When you're not with your team, it's just hard for you to be rescued.
Yeah, I agree with you right there. But here, Lona, they have 2 eliminations to their name, but they lose 1 member, however, to a member of Crown. And so Crown, although they got picked off early on, once again, at least they walk out with at least 1 point. They have 1 elimination to their name, but all the while, LHC spots his syndicates from all the way from other side of the map. But for now, our all eyes are on these two teams. DCM Syndicate Ayo inside this building. Will they push inside? But it looks like LHC is going to rotate into that area. And with that, the open door, he gets picked up. Mad gets picked off. And Pew Pew follows as well with the grenade. And will we see that elimination, that confirmation isn't
Ayo.
going in just yet. But Pew Pew, he need that revive. But Mad is completely dead. It's completely gone from the game. But Ayo very low on health. Needing that heal. But LHC, they're nearby. They walk past the corridor and they won't be able to get that kill. So Ayo walks away cleanly.
And now with Ayo here, just really looking for exact corners to fit in, just to try to avoid LHC right here. But it seems like they're very, very near, so he's looking for a way right there. The shots are connecting. One goes down for the side of LHC Esports. Now here, Ayo is just looking for a way to try to maneuver around this house right here as he is about to face one of the members, of course, from the enemy. But of course, here for the side of LHC Esports, one is here hiding, just waiting for Ayo to go out before he can take them out.
And for Mighty, the last member of LHC, it won't be a good idea to try to push where Syndicate is because this is a dire numbers disadvantage. But all the while between Crown and Lawns, however, Crown does get one knock, but Isuit goes down, however, and it looks like this will be the end of Crown. Got picked off once again. In fact, they are the first one to get picked off, same as the previous Miramar map.
Exactly. Looking at here for the side of Lona here, seems like no enemies are near them, so they just kind of stay there. Though we do hear some gunshots, that's all good for them since they're just really waiting to actually look for a way. But here, looking at Maitsui right there, getting shot at. Though he's still alive with more than half an HP, but he has to face a lot of enemies from all sides, and that would mark the end, of course, from the team. From there.
Yes. The final member of LHC finally gets picked off by DCM Syndicate. And Syndicate, They have only 3 members left standing, but still, with 3 eliminations to their name, that's already good statistics on their side. They have a very consistent playstyle. That's something that's commendable for their team. But so far, everyone else, they need to shine. They need to get all the points that they can get. And so far, looking at the leaderboards, Lona, however, getting really good statistics right now with 4 eliminations to their team's name. But now, looking at the circle, these teams outside the play zone, they need to rotate sooner or later.
If you do look at the map right now, all of the teams, I mean, most of the teams are still at the danger zone. Even worse for those teams that are very, very far from the play zone. So they really have to make a move for it, especially now that I think the damage for the danger zone is starting to actually give a scare for these players because the damage isn't really that big, but if you do get greeted with a lot of enemies, then you just get taken easily. And this is like I said, this is the case here for game overlords. Is they have to look for a way to get inside the play zone as to not get damaged by enemies just waiting for them to get inside.
Those potential gatekeeping, that's gonna happen sooner and later if you don't try to rotate into the circle early enough. But for now, the kill feed is a little bit quiet, and so the early game engagements come to an end. But for now, 8 minutes into the game, 13 teams still left standing, and with 50 players still alive. This is the typical Miramar map going slow, and so we'll just have to wait for these players, wait for the circle to push them together. Because for now, we are in stage 2. But hi, Sam, why are you so low on health? That's because you're still outside of the circle, and if you don't heal yourself soon, you might get picked off. But for now, that's not gonna happen because he does have the resources, he's in a car, and he's rotating into safety. And so that goes for Cyanide. They have all 4 members still left standing, and so for these other teams, they're also doing really well because a lot of these teams, they still have all 4 members left standing as well.
And now we've started to see them like flies dropping already one by one by the danger zone. And again, it's really the danger zone is just a threat to be dealt with. You don't you don't play I don't know, you don't play from different teams. That's just wrong. I mean, you do have to take note of the danger zone, which is starting to hurt you already. And again, a lot of players are starting to go down, so they just have to revive each other. But still, they still have to face a lot of enemies that are just waiting for them outside the circle.
Yes, I agree with you right there. And now all the things but all that the teams can do right now is kind of just use the waiting game because nothing's happening and no one wants to go around parading themselves like, hey, come here, I want to do a 1 versus 1 because they have to play it safe. This after this map, they'll only have tomorrow for the chance to really bag the top 4 in this finals. And so either they have to play it safe or if they go aggressive, at least they have a plan. And so for now, with everyone else still gathering, trying to secure some locations, secure those resources and gears, we'll just have to wait. For this circle will force everyone to congregate in an area, and it looks like TTS Esports, we might be able to see a potential pickoff because there are some vehicles making noise in a distance.
If you do watch the map right here, TTS Esports, they do have that kind of advantage in the higher ground. See, you're trying to connect the shots right there, but it's kind of hard since it's very, very far. Hits the car instead. But of course, that gives them that information that someone is really around them and is near them. So they will have to prepare for TTS Esports. But of course, for now, they will have to look for areas to stay, just to really seek some shelter, seek some cover, and before they can go for engagements later on.
And somewhere out there in the other map, there might be a fight against 2 other squads. But for now, that would be OTF versus a Simp. OTF still has all 4 members standing, but I can't say the same thing for Simp because Simp, they need to revive 1 member and they are completely getting bombarded by Aiki over here, having those Molotovs being thrown and those grenades as well, and some bullets being shot, Goodman being the casualty of that. Two members of Simp needing that revive, and so game over OTF. Their hunt isn't done yet, but Saite gets picked off, needs that revive, and game over OTF. Terror X, they need that. They need those eliminations to their name as well. And Terror X, that grenade won't connect to anyone just yet. But Aiki over here hunting down Suit. What will happen over here? This grenade, they will be thrown, but Suit has the same idea. And so this is a 1 versus 1 between the two for now. And none of these damages will connect, but with the sidestep 1 versus 1, Aiki versus
Mikey.
Sweet. Aiki goes down, but however, Terror X comes in, tries to get that
Oh,
revenge, and he gets it. He gets that revenge kill on Simp. And will that be the end of Simp? That will be the end of Simp in the hands of Game Over OTF.
wow. I mean, you do have that one shot from that shotgun, and again, Terror X is once a menace. He kept on dealing a lot of damage, especially to a lot of teams, and I can familiarize his name. And once again, he just shows up right here for the side of OTF. He's like, yo, I got this. Just help me up, and we get to maybe get that chicken dinner later on. But for now, we get to take a look at Syndicate's POV, which I think they're trying their best to go for the chicken dinner right here. Just another good end for today if they do successfully grab it. But for now, they only have 3 kills. If they really want to widen this, then they can have even more. And you compare that to other teams, OTF, they have the potential with 4 points in the making, while also Lona with 4 points.
These teams, they have raked up their share of eliminations, but for game over here, they have to work extra hard, but they do spot Tranquility from a distance, and those vehicles are making lots of movements. And so with those pickoffs, will Ryu Days get those pickoffs? Ryu Days consistently sees their name on the top players, and so I have a lot of hope that Game Over Esports will get some eliminations from this. But so far, it's not looking good for them. But every shot that they make, they give away their location, and so far, it's not coming up fruitful. But game over, game over. They're not gonna stop here. They're gonna rotate. They're gonna change their location. But all the while, TTS versus Lons in some other part of the map. TTS with all 4 members still left standing for Lons. However, it's not gonna be the same. But they're gonna try to rotate out of the area. 2 members of Lons in a vehicle, but TTS as well. They have the same idea. 2 members trying to rotate into the area, and so the fight ensues between these two. Whoever comes out of this alive, they will be walking away with lots of eliminations.
12 teams remaining, and we're still 15 minutes into the game. And I think this is gonna be another trend of just a lot of ambushes, a lot of third parties later on, especially during the end phase, with the circle starting to really shrink down. But as of now, they're still more on the complacent side. You're just really asking for some cover from the houses and just waiting for some heads to pop out before they can connect their shots.
That's the thing about Miramar. There's a lot of waiting involved, but the Syndicate, they're not waiting any longer. They're trying to get those shots to line up to NRS, trying to get those eliminations. And that's what we're talking about complacency. If we're talking about complacency, Syndicate doesn't have any of that. Although they have a lot of points to go about, a lot of free points to basically give away. Still, they're trying their best to secure elimination points nonetheless, and trying to get those placement points as well. But over here, Cyanide, it seems that they will be trying to secure this location in the high ground, and hopefully they have the sniper guns to answer to that as well. But for now, since they have 0 eliminations, they'll have to work extra hard to rotate into an area where they can potentially pick off some other squads.
You check on the map right here, and all of the teams really. I mean, only a few of the teams with DMT and Lona here inside the circle, and also 1 member of OTF. They're still trying to get in the circle, but if you do look at the gameplay as well, then some members of the OTF right here are getting gunned down. Though the shots didn't connect, at least they know where the enemies are, and they have the time to avoid them. Because of course, this it's just too early to risk it all to be eliminated. I mean, there's still a chance that they get eliminated. But here, one of them goes down, and the rest of the team as well are trying to help them out. But looking here for the side of DMT, the shots here trying to connect, but it will fail. However, trying to shoot down that vehicle, but they will have to go away.
Yes, and they'll have to disengage from this fight. But for now, DMT, one of their members, she's very low on health. They will have to reset. But for now, they might be out of the woods, so they have the luxury of healing themselves up. But taking a look at that circle, everyone should be running into each other now. But that kill feed is slowly filling up as well. And so,
Oh,
one
sad.
getting picked off from the side of Lons, I believe that would be Lons. And so that would be one elimination onto their name, and also one player down. One player completely eliminated, rather. But it looks like it's not over yet. They're not out of the woods just yet. Going for those sniper kills, trying to line up the shots, but they got shot at instead. And all the while, some other teams, this will be Tranquility trying to rotate into the area where everyone is congregating in such a massive cesspool of players, and one after the other they're shooting at each other. But Tranquility Lawns and some other third parties, that'll be game over. DMT as well. There's lots of things happening. NG versus NRS is somewhere out there as well. But Lawns, just taking a look at their statistics, there are 2 members left standing, but only one elimination to their name. NG, however, 1 elimination, but all 4 members left standing. Syndicate, 3 eliminations, but only 2 members left standing. They have to step up, but they do have a lot of points to cushion their fall. But still, they need to work hard to keep their spot in the top 1.
Exactly. Syndicate here. They could be cornered right here with the Night Raiders trying to gun them down. The shots trying to connect, but PUPO manages to get down, manages to take one of them, and now waits for the rest of the team to try to push them down while the rest of Syndicate are also here, ready to back him up on that. PUPO goes for a couple of sprays right there. The shot's trying to connect, and here he goes out, trying to look for a way to maneuver this one out. PUPO tries to goes for another round of sprays, and that would be the end for game over OTF, while also NRS, the Night Raiders, will go down in the hands of Syndicate.
Now, we are nearing the exciting part of the map, of the game rather. These are 10 teams left standing, 34 players as well. And this circle is getting smaller and smaller. Lawns, on the other hand, taking down one member of Game Over. Game Over needing to revive that member, but will they be able to get that revive? That is the question now. But Lawns loses Madu as well, going down with that knock. But Game Over Mastis over here, they spot another squad nearby and they're trying to get those shots to connect. But all the while, Game Over X's, they do get revived as well. But TTS in the distance, actually several other parties, you don't know where to shoot at first, and everyone is shooting at you as well. And so this is a matter of luck at who gets to be the scapegoat in this situation, who gets to be the decoy, and who gets to pick up the members. But for now, TTS Esports, they have the grenades and they have an unfortunate location. They are out in the open, so they are quite easy to pick up. But NG, it holds true to them as well as Syndicate trying to rotate into the area with a vehicle, but Cloud is in trouble. He goes down, he needs that revive, and that is the complete elimination of Syndicate all the while. But it's not over just yet. TTS Esports sticking here, trying to get their pickoffs as well, and everyone is congregating here. 9 teams left, 29 teams left standing, and we are in stage 5 of the circle.
And now looking at the teams, DMT, Tranquility, and Game Over Esports, they're still full with 4 members alive. But you have to look at here, DMT Hunter trying to avoid that gunshots, manages to be alive, and just maybe tries to go in and just really look for a way to kill him. And really here over at Sal from Game Over Esports, he goes down. X's tries to revive while the gunshots are already here. All of the teams are already here and just really waiting for the damage. Lona will go down, and that as the 9th team for this match, and the rest of the teams are just really using the houses, the landscape here to their advantage.
And looking at the structures around Miramar, it's hard. It's really hard to try to get to this late game and you're out in the open circle. And speaking of hard, NG, they have 2 members needing that revive and they only have 3 eliminations to their name. It's still there are 8 teams left standing, but all the while, Game Over gets 1 knock on Lawns. And however, NG not doing really well, but they have their crosshairs targeting on Fen returns. And will they get that confirmation? It looks like it will be the other team. But on the other side, TTS, however, shooting at them as well. But
Oh,
NG will be going down from that skirmish, and TTS will be taking down Fen returns as well, and Tranquility goes down as well from another skirmish, and now we're down to the top 4 teams. 14 players left standing after several teams got picked off one after the other. DMT and game over. And Cyanide having all 4 members left standing, but Lons, however, not doing well. With only 1 healthy member left standing and 1 needing that revive, their chances are slim, but still it won't stop them. But however, DMT takes 1 from Game Over Sip, and now we have some sprays going in from DMT Fisherman, but he gets damaged from that grenade all the while.
And now your DMT, I think it's looking good right here for DMT, especially that they have the higher ground. They can just shoot from anywhere. But over, we take a look here from Game Over Lawns. One of them just got down by another in that third party engagement right there. And of course, Madu here trying to help his team, trying to throw some grenades to get some damage before he helps his team. It's just really a game of patience here to look for a way to help his teammates, but it's looking kind of rough from here because another has been gunning him down, and that would be his demise right there as Game Over Lawns ends up ranked number 4, and it's just gonna be up to these last 3 teams: DMT, Game Over Esports, and Cyanide.
Now, starting with Game Over, they have 1 member needing that revive. Maste is getting knocked as well, and that is Game Over having only 2 members, healthy members left standing, but Cyanide starts getting picked off as well. DMT slowly losing health, and now in the kill feed, it seems that it's quite a mess, but in all members trying to shoot at each other. Cyanide versus DMT. This might be the last part of the match, but all the while there is a third party somewhere out there, but still DMT needing 1 member on the revive, but still they have 14 eliminations to their name. But Cyanide, they're not doing really well. Cyanide losing 1 member out of the other, and that is the complete elimination to their name. But it's not over just yet. DMT versus Game Over. Will this be game over for Game Over, or will this be game over for DMT? That is the question that needs to be answered. This is a 2 versus 3, DMT needing to revive 1 player, but since this is the end game, I don't know if they have the luxury of doing just that. Okay, 1 versus 1 over here at the top of the elevation, but DMT Shisui won't be getting away with that. And now DMT will they get shot at. It seems that this will be the victory of Game Over Esports. The winner chicken dinner, the final winner chicken dinner of tonight will be going to Game Over Esports.
Wow. First, that's that chicken dinner right there. For once again, for Game Over Esports, they managed to also grab a couple of chicken dinners previously as well. And once again, here we have our winners. Of course, now their match point here is total of 18. That's of course 10 points for their chicken dinner, and of course 8 eliminations. And also for the second place, definitely managed to rack up a lot of points, but still ended up in the second place with the 5. That's gonna be for 5 points, of course. While the rest of the team here, I mean, if you do look at the stats right here for Game Over Esports, they've managed to actually come back on top and just, I mean, they managed to get a lot of damage here and just win it. I mean, if they manage to be at the top 1 spot, which is still very far from happening with Syndicate with a lot of that point gap, they do have that potential to challenge them even for tomorrow with 6 more games. I mean, that's still very, very possible. So for Syndicate right here, they have to be aware of that.
They definitely do have to be aware of that. And for that match summary, we'll be having 55 eliminations, 63 knocks, total healings of 8,946, 2 grenade eliminations, and 34 assists, with unfortunately 0 vehicle eliminations for this last match. But this is Miramar. They need a lot of vehicles, but so far they only used it to rotate into areas. But so far, the MT doing really well in terms of damage with 2,844 compared to Game Over with only 1,401 damage. But Nox, DMT having more, 16 as compared to the 10 of Game Over. Eliminations, twice the number in DMT with 16 compared to 8 of Game Over. And of course, the survival time is just a few seconds away. And the total points, of course, DMT having secured a having no game over having secured that chicken dinner, they do still have less because DMT had a lot of eliminations. And of course, MVP goes to Shisui with 5 eliminations and wow, 952 damage. That's absolutely amazing performance. And to think their heals is only 169. What has Shisui been doing on the field to garner so much damage to his name?
And if you do take a look as well for DMT, I did point it out a while ago that they had the initiative to really go for a higher ground, and it was just from there that they were just able to get a lot of kills, especially from those below them. Although they managed to get that lot of kills, they still ended up being defeated by Game Over Esports in a 1v1 scenario a while ago.
Yeah, and that was actually really impressive. And still, these are your top players. Of course, Shisui with number one. Coming in with number two is Fisherman with 5 eliminations and a damage of 605. Coming third is Hunter with 4 eliminations and 755 damage. Fourth is Pew Pew with 4 eliminations and 384 damage. And fifth is Ryu Days, 2 eliminations, but however, 696 damage. Wow. And to think Pew Pew has twice the number of eliminations, but Ryu Days has twice the number of damage. And so the statistics aren't statisticking, you know if I'm saying. But here, match rankings, DMT is garnering 22 points, Game Over having 18, although they did get that chicken dinner, and Cyanide having 6, as well as NG, as well as Syndicate. They all have 6 points. TTS and Lons having 5 points. Tranquility and Fan having 4 points. And so, actually, the rank number 10 to 15, they might have, okay, they're not faring really well because Lona and OTF have 4 points each. LHC, NRS, and Crown with 1. And unfortunately for this game, Simp walks away with 0 points for now.
And we do have to. This is the actually the last match for today, ending now with the overall rankings updated. Still at number one spot, that's gonna be DCM Syndicate, to be followed by DCM DMT with 105 points, 34 more points to try to catch up to Syndicate. And here we have as also Game Over Esports now at top three, to be followed by RGC Tranquility and LNN Night Raiders.
And actually, DMT, I believe they were the team that had at least 14 eliminations before they got picked off. And so that really just put their name up all the
Yeah.
way to second place in the leaderboards. And of course, Syndicate, they're still up there. But DMT is catching up. And that's what I'm talking about. Catching up with Syndicate. You have to get a lot of eliminations, but it won't be possible to completely catch up to them within just one map, not even maybe two maps. But if you continue to perform consistently, just as DMT has done, it might be possible to overtake Syndicate. But for now, that's not happening just yet. And since this is match number 6, we'll have to see that if it's possible tomorrow.
And we've actually noticed that Fen returns from now top number 15 all the way now to top number 50, top number 13 rather, and ending with top number 15 for the side of Game Over Simp, which for these teams really it's kind of looking slim, but for the next six games tomorrow, then we'll have to see on whatever strategy they have to come up with to at least try to catch up from all of the teams. But so far, the chances are slim for these teams.
Yeah, and unfortunately for those teams, but top players, of course, you days. It's actually the household name so far. And congratulations to those top players. And this was the match schedule. We have ended match number 12 with Game Over Esports bagging that winner chicken dinner in this last map. This has been the grand finals day 2 match schedule. And of course, we've seen a lot of action between these 15 teams. Lots of good plays, lots of good performances, especially with Syndicate, and of course in that last game DMT as well. But this day 2 of the grand finals has ended. That was the conclusion of match number 6. And so this has been Maldives Championship Contender Series Season 3, day number 2 of the grand finals. Once again, we are your casters. My name is Annie and this is Mike. This will be the end for the stream for now. Thank you so much for tuning in. And for now, it is good night and goodbye. See you all tomorrow.
Is better. Maybe he's saying to try it. Look, look, even the diagram on the wall suggests it. The picture says it all.
I have returned.